Jason called me out.
Cheese goblin.
Exposed.
What's up, everybody? And welcome to Friday Night D&D. I'm not muted this time. I did right. I can at least do it right for the D&D streams. How are you guys doing? What's up, Anna? Anna just gave me a +1 roll to me. Thank you so much, Anna. Make sure I don't forget that. She may be handing out other goodies. She just gave you inspiration, Emma, so don't forget you're going to be taking
Anna
an extra one.
Yes.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Friday Night D&D. We are playing more Dark Frontier. I'm Jaso, the DM. Who else is joining me this wonderful Friday evening?
Hello, everybody. I'm Bailey, and I play Emma Neyts, the Lightfoot Halfling, Circle of Wildfire Druid.
Hey, it's Luke, and I'm playing the Illithid Artificer, Artillerist, specifically.
What's up, everybody? I'm Slim. I'll be playing Rostin Shinjizuka and my buddy Thunderfall. Sadly, my other mechanical friend, Cogman, isn't here, so somebody's gonna be the puppet for our dude.
What's up? I'm Kyle. I'm playing Boltro Keys, but my friends call me Bolt. I'm the leader of this here band of merry men, and gonna get us out of some trouble already. Let's go.
Hey everybody, I'm Nick, and I'm playing Ironhide, the mayor, pirate, captain, bosun, legendary slayer of all things such as umber hulks and fire liches and anything that attacks my little champion, because I'm the best. And I'm a statue, but I'm not a statue anymore.
We're unfortunately out one Kevino. He's enjoying his birthday evening with the missus, so he'll be out. Happy birthday. Hope you have a good evening if you're watching this. In the meantime, we are all here. I want to give a quick shout out, as always, to the wonderful artists who did our character portraits. Thank you, Lumen Arts. Go check him out over on Twitter. He's been doing a bunch of cool stuff. A lot of like actual full-on art instead of just some character busts. That's really cool to look at. We have Twitch channel points if any of you guys are watching, as Anna just handed out a bunch of goodies. Whether you're just lurking or even chatting with us, you're still building up points, and you can use those to buy fun things like inspiration for the party members, a +1 to a roll. You can name an NPC, summon the weird, a whole bunch of crazy effects. So go look at all of the cool things down at the bottom left of the chat there, and you'll see the nice little sparkling purple weird bit, and click on that to see all the fun rewards. We just added the terror reward as well, so that's an interesting reward, as we learned last session, so that's something too.
Don't like it.
It's our favorite.
Yeah, it's everyone's favorite, so buy that one. So I have a +1. Emma, you get an extra inspiration card. Ironhide, if you don't already have one, you're gonna get one, and then Thunder, you're gonna get a +1. So keep all of those things in mind. If you guys are interested in any of the characters, you can always mouse over the stream, and over on the right side you will find the D&D Beyond plugin. You can take a look at all of the character stats, their individual paths for their character classes, because I know we don't necessarily always cover that except the beginning. So if you're wondering, just curious about the spells or maybe equipment they have on them, or just want to get a closer look at their character sheets, that's all listed on there right on the stream for you to check out. We have stream stickers too, and you're going to get bonus ones if you are subscribed. You get actually campaign-specific stickers for this campaign, so if you're interested, take a look at that as well. We also just have, even if you're not subscribed, there's just like a whole mess of global stickers that you could slap anywhere on the screen. So that is it for all of my housekeeping, other than to remind you guys, and this is not to say that this is specifically needed for this session, but just in general, knowledge checks are free, just to let you know. Anna says, when I get enough, there will be terror, and then she laughs maniacally.
Oh. You mean wild. You mean wild. Everybody's favorite is wild.
So now it is time to Yu-Gi-Oh! Go ahead and grab you guys a card. Emma, you're going to be grabbing 2. Ironhide, you get 1 yourself to get to 2.
Oop.
And then, of course, if you guys want to trade any of them, even those of you holding on to an extra one are more than welcome to do so.
I have Kevin's. I've had Kevin's for like 3 weeks.
Oh, you want to draw one for yourself then?
Please.
Yeah, there you go. And then just remember whose is whose or whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna keep mine.
Same.
See?
All right. So, with that said, why don't we roll some dice to see who wants to give the recap from last time?
Oh no, I don't know.
Pretty sure Kevin gave it last time too.
I
So.
will never be punished for my hubris.
I really need a bye week this week, guys. I'm sorry.
Diplomatic immunity.
I'm all for it, boss.
I do appreciate it, Thunder. We can always count on you.
Thunder, what happened last time on Weird? Wait, Dark Frontier.
Well, we got a new ship. A squid ship. A calamari catalyst, if you will, to cruise the galaxy. We loaded up, picked up everything we needed. Didn't get to hear what Big Boss Hippo said to Big Boss of Boat. Some secret messages on what our mission was. We hopped on our new ship, took off, and did what we do best. Blew it the expletive up. I'm not allowed to curse. Captain said so. A fire lich came shooting through the sky and burned a hole in our ship and then left screaming and laughing as our best statue man came over and beat the crap out of it. Then we landed on a frozen hellhole. Oh, I swore, sorry. With 3 pounds. I think it was Yeti Foot, Frost Sock, and Freeze something. And after getting inspected by giant Goliath Barbarian people, we walked around and started to explore. Me, Mr. Ill, and Sir not appearing in this episode, well, we walked around and kind of looked around for some stuff while I think the 3 of them got in trouble. Last thing I heard, Emma was trying to get all cool and friendly and be awesome, and she got chokeslammed by, like, someone that called her a demon because apparently there's bad stuff going on. Oh yeah, and we talked to some weird people that were trying to give us spooky stories about evil things that attack in the winters, the wood or something. It's all superstition. I think that's it.
Okay. There was a tavern meeting where Emma, yes, was assaulted by some crazy guy in the corner of the room.
The town murder hobo, if you will.
The Frosted Nipper.
At the Frosted Nipper. That's right. So yes, I think Team A had gone off to try and figure out where some potential wood resources would be, and then I think you guys left off heading into the adventure and supply shop for the town. Meanwhile, Team B headed over to the Frosted Nipper Inn/tavern, and you guys were trying to mingle a little bit, do a little bit of detective work. Emma found out that this world does not use the regular coinage that you all use outside of here. They instead use oil as a trade currency. So that is an interesting tidbit that Emma was able to figure out relatively easily. She then, as the others sat down at their own table, met with a interesting dark hooded character in the corner who looked like he, at the very least, was bandaged from perhaps some type of frostbitten, ill-gotten wounds, and tried to chat him up a little bit. He seemed a little coy, perhaps a little interesting and reserved, and as she tried to make conversation with him, seemed, I suppose, a little suspicious to him. So he may have he mentioned something about a demon, and then finding her conversation a bit unconvincing, had jumped across the table with lightning speed and had tackled her to the ground. I'm
so small.
Hand up against her shoulder holding her down, and in the other hand held up high a curved blade, a pretty nasty looking knife held up as he yelled, "Demon!"
She probably is screaming and squirming and freaking out like a demon at this point. She's yelling and like,
as this happens, you Ironhide as well as Bolt would be able to see this. Bolt, as we mentioned last week towards the end, your crossbow weapon has this aura around it that gives you the sensation when things are about to get to the jump on you, and this sort of alerted you to something happening, although maybe it was a little more faint considering it wasn't happening to you specifically. I think the weapon states that you specifically can't be surprised. I'm pretty sure.
You and any of your companions within 30 feet
Okay.
can't be surprised.
Okay.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
We'll say thematically this still happens, but I'll keep that in mind, like for
Show.
combat stuff. But it did, as we talked about, go off and kind of gave you the hint. And as you turned to look over, that's when you saw. We'll say Kazima was kind of out of earshot over in the corner of the tavern, which it was relatively lively as you guys were heading in. There was a couple people, plenty of tables that were taken up by different races of Goliath, dwarves, some humans, maybe a couple other races mixed in, all very pale due to this area being landlocked and having nothing to light this entire planet, or at least this side of the planet, except the low light coming from the reflection off of a blood red moon up in the sky. Lively in here, most tables taken up. Good number of tables taken up by what looks like just two people sitting across from one another, seemingly engaged in some type of activity, though you're not sure exactly what they're getting up to from here. But your attention was currently turned towards Emma, who was tackled over as this strange gentleman in the corner of the room had, with almost cat-like reflexes, tackled her to the ground and is holding a knife up. A number of other patrons stop, and the jovial nature dies down just a little bit as most people turn to see this happen. In the scuffle, immediately you said, Emma, that you're just going to kind of be like doing a blood-curdling scream.
She would be, and then trying to slip away, trying to like crawl out of whatever hold she is in.
Okay. Give me I believe it is an athletics or acrobatics check, because we'll say that you're like grappled.
Let's do acrobatics.
All right.
Come on, roll 20. You know what? At this point, I understand our relationship. Roll 20.
Thought you were gonna get real dice.
I have real dice. I should use them. But it's so
You
easy.
You squirm and try to get away, but the firm mittened hand is pressed up against your shoulder, holding you down. The gentleman who mentioned that his name was Malik, an older gentleman, leans in, up close to your ear, still dagger raised in hand, and he says, "Careful, some of the ones in town here. They're not what they seem."
Oh, get off me!
And he throws the dagger towards your head, and you hear it catch into the wood just an inch or two away from you as you continue to squirm. Bolt, Ironhide, what do you guys do as you see this?
I'm so mad.
So it's only the one guy that's making an aggressive move then?
Yeah, at this point, you would begin to hear the voice of that Goliath bartender that Emma bought some drinks from as she... Hang on, let me see here. Let me just
The
test something real
bartender's
quick.
my friend. He just knows I'm poor. That's all.
Testing,
That was
testing.
That's Jason.
What?
Good old clownfish.
What? It's turned
0 for
on.
3. 0
Hang
for
on.
3.
Wait, hey, hang on. Wait, I'm just, hang on. Let's just, I just want to test and see. Oh, I'm mad at this. This should be working. Hang on.
I'm gonna buy you one of those hollow micro effects to that.
They have alien robot in it.
Yeah.
Testing,
Yeah.
testing.
Guys, just pretend like it's working. Just humor him.
Testing. Is it anything?
Yeah.
It's very good, Jason. Very good.
How goes?
Fuck
Ooh.
this thing.
It's not working.
I can't believe it. I literally turned it on after streaming last time and it worked fine. That's incredibly annoying. Well, I'm just gonna have to spend every fucking session making sure that this thing works. The Goliath bartender, as I was saying, up front behind the counter, is
plant.
you hear her beginning to say, "Hey, not again!" She yells as she begins to slowly put down one of the pitchers in hand and head slowly begins to take a couple steps that way. Is what you two, Bolt and Ironhide, see.
All right.
Ironhide would probably immediately intervene.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of what to do. I don't
What would Ironhide do?
go first. Yeah.
Like immediately snatch. You said this is a human or a Goliath?
He's a human. Looks.
But
It's a little difficult to tell underneath all the like pelts and stuff, but the height seems appropriate to a human instead of a Goliath, where they're a little bit taller and somewhat kind of stockier than some of the smaller humans.
Yeah.
Size medium still, 12 foot high.
Oh, I'm size large because I'm the fast. So Ironhide would try to grab the wrist with the knife, and if that was out of reach because it's on the far hand, grab for the throat.
Ooh.
You see you're able to, you kind of quickly throw your chair back. The sliding of wood on wood is heard, and you begin heading that way quickly. The knife that was being held up, the dagger, has been struck into the wood a couple inches away from Emma's face, and you did see where this figure leaned in to whisper something to her and then pulled back up. As you run over, what do you try to do? He seems to have just pulled up from whispering something to her, but she seems to still be wrenching around and trying to escape his grip.
That would be an immediate choke slam around the neck grip. Listen to me. Stand down immediately or your story ends right now.
Better do it. Pretty strong. He's pretty strong.
Don't touch my champion.
Is that a is attempting a grapple attack? Is that like a athletics check versus something
Yeah,
else?
it's just like what you had with Bailey.
Just the reverse. Okay, because he's the all right, cool. So give me an athletics check, Ironhide, and as he raises his head and now can see under his cowl, you heading towards him, is gonna see if he can.
I'm dropping an advantage card. Thank you, Anna. You're my favorite.
Oh, nice. I'm adding
Nice.
my +1 to this, although I don't know this will be enough. Let's see, what'd you get?
18.
Oh yeah, no, even with a +1, I'll add it to that, but that didn't beat it. Yeah, you grab with a thick-fingered gift hand across his neck as he attempts to, like, you see he's beginning to try and quickly pull himself up off of her, and you just kind of catch him on the way up with your gift hand and lift him up in the air 2 or 3 feet up off and just hold tightly against his neck. Not enough to crush an airway, but just enough to hold him in your firm grip. He grips at your hand. Put me down, put me down.
You go ahead, sorry.
Just ever so close. Lower him a little bit. Are you gonna play nice now? You're not bigger than me.
So before he answers, I'll take my turn then. I'll knock on the bar and look at the bartender and hold up a sack of oil and say, "Beers for everybody. Let's just everybody calm down. I'm sure my friend's got enough excitement. My tiny friend over here, she's had enough excitement. Coming to the big city like this, it does her nut in. She gets a little bit crazy. She gets a little squirmy, you see. It doesn't do her well surrounded by so many people. You can understand that this is a lot of people for her. If you can't, that's fine, but this is a lot of people for... I just want everybody to settle down. Everybody have a drink on me."
She pulls up the barrier where you step behind the bar, and as you hold up your oil, she kind of just pushes past you and says, "It'll have to wait. This one's been causing trouble for a while now." And she begins to step towards him. Ironhide, you still having him gripped. As you do, you can kind of hear the footfalls of what sounds like the Goliath Bartender beginning to come up behind you. As you have him in your grip, he sort of still kind of grabbing at your arm, spits through his teeth a little more silently. "You're not from here, are you?"
No.
I'm sorry. You're asking me questions. You're not on the ground. You're not bigger than me. You don't ask questions right now. She looks mad.
Wait, maybe he knows. Maybe he can help.
The female Goliath Bartender steps up and says, "Oh, there. I'll take him from here. This one's been causing an uproar the past couple days. I think a night in a cell may calm him down." And she runs a hand around his waist and kind of begins to pull him up, hopefully out of your grip, Ironhide.
Oh, okay. You can go with her.
He tries to pull out of this as she basically, like a child, almost throws him over her shoulder, and he is just trying to pull himself from her back, but she has a pretty strong grip around his back legs to where he can't do much. She also quickly grabs, before he can do anything with his dagger, and puts it in one of her front belt sides, kind of just slipping it underneath her belt loop. And she begins to walk him out. She says, "Take him out to the guards outside. Give me just a second." She looks over to you, Bolt, as she continues to pass. "I'll get around for everyone once I come back in." She continues to move towards the doors. The hunter, this Malik character, struggles a bit and looks up to lock his eyes with you, Emma, and almost studies you for just a second. And then the doors push open, and you hear the churning of the wind as the female bartender begins to step outside.
Can I follow her? Talk to her and...
Sure.
All right.
I'm gonna follow immediately behind.
Okay.
So when you say trouble, you mean it's attacking people and calling them demons, or trouble pranks? What are you talking trouble?
She turns to you and says, "This one isn't a resident of the village."
Well, I might have accidentally said something to offend him, since he's a foreigner. So I don't know if we had to lock him up in the jail. He's a little different. Maybe his culture is not as warm as ours. Warm, get it? It's freezing. So
strict rules in this village, miss.
Well, I mean, look, I'm alive. He didn't hurt me. He just scared me. That's all. I was a little dramatic with the screams and the squeals. It's just,
let's just say, I'll feel better with him spending a night in a jail cell. There's no guards posted right outside of the tavern. She sort of like begins, you see in the map down below, she kind of begins to work her way around like this bend that is a little bit to the right of the Frosted Nipper. Just kind of walking casually, a couple of the other townspeople turning their cowls and hoods to look that way. She just continues to walk.
Go ahead.
Is Malik resisting the bartender?
At this point, no. You see that he is looking around. You can now make out a number of details, at least from this distance, that Emma would have noticed that he's an older gentleman, and looks like he's got some age on him, and looks like he is adorned with a number of bandages and stuff, and some pocked skin that looks like it would have gotten like really bad frostburn and likely led to these bandages. He is like doing that thing where he's thrown over the shoulder, but he's not struggling. He's looking up, and his eyes are sort of like darting around the village as if he's like studying something.
But it's cool if you stick around and we try to settle our differences, right? That's fine, right, lady?
She turns now, stopping, and says, "If he's good, you can talk to him tomorrow when they release him."
You'll be good, right, Malik?
He says nothing.
Okay.
She continues to begin her trek around, and you actually now see at this point, as she rounds the corner here, that the building that is almost due north, beyond some patches of some very wilted, dead-looking trees, is the jailhouse. 2 guards stand outside of front.
What if he works it off instead? You know, put him to good use instead of just like wasting space in a jail. Just put him to work, right? Get some oil going. Yeah, some oil.
She is no longer speaking to you and continues to walk.
Okay.
Bolt, are you still in the tavern?
No, I'd have followed everybody out.
Okay, you begin to trail behind the others. You notice now a male Goliath, still relatively sturdy in build, but maybe a little less tall than the female was. He actually pushes the wooden flip here and steps behind the counter. It seems like she has a couple people here employed who could take over as she steps out, and you kind of quickly push out the wooden door and begin to catch up with the rest. It looks like you can see through the dead trees here that the female Goliath, along with your teammates, have just sort of like done this little curve over to the jailhouse that you see up above.
Yep.
She now steps up to 2 human-looking guards that stand outside of the jailhouse. One of them looks on and says, "Aye, causing more trouble, is he?" "Aye," she says. And they both look at one another and they say, "Well, toss him in. We'll have a conversation. See if he can calm down." She nods. She turns to you, Emma, and says, "Go enjoy some drinks. If he is a good boy, you can speak with him tomorrow."
What? Okay, well, what? I guess, I mean, sure, but... I mean... Whatever, lady.
We may drop by a bit later. We have other companions we might need to reconvene with before we sit down for some merriment.
She grips at the Malik's waist and almost holding him at the back of the furs around his butt, almost like grabbing a cat, like grips him and slowly drops him to the guards, who grip him around the arms and begin to pull him in. As they open the doors, you don't see Malik struggle, Ironhide, but you see him throw one last look back towards you all. And then they step into a bit of darkness. You can see inside, it's like a low light. There's some candles inside, and then the doors close.
Well, I guess we better go find the others now. Everybody? Shall we?
Yeah.
The female Goliath turns to you, Bolt, and sees you, Emma, and Ironhide, and says, well, if you're looking for a place to stay, Frosted Nipper serves as an inn, too. Warm place, good drink. Stop by again if you need to. Sorry about the bad first impressions.
It was just a misunderstanding. I'm sure we'll talk it out tomorrow and everything will be fine. We'll be best friends.
Things happen.
She begins to march back and nods at you all as she begins to head that way.
Bolt starts out by saying, now, I think I heard them say that they were headed off to as soon as she's out of sight. All right, so ideas on how you're going to get in there?
I can turn into a weasel and probably wiggle through some holes. That is my plan.
Very well. We will do this. Let us reconvene while we think about some other contingencies to this. We're coming back, though. This man clearly needs some help.
Yeah. He thought I was a demon at first, which I guess I get, but
Yeah,
he's an off-worlder. He's one of us.
We're off-worlders. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. He's also... Yes, I understand what you're saying. I get confused.
It's okay. It's a generation thing.
What?
What?
Huh? So how do we
Let's go
get...
find the others.
Yeah, let's go find the...
You guys begin to turn and see
Oh, look, a tavern. Let's go in.
a number of dotted housing and cabins that surrounds this area. I think the last time that was mentioned by Team A was that they were headed off to get some wood. What you guys would assume from what you can see, similar to how Team A last time saw stretching above the stone exterior wall of Chilimir here, the frayed and bent and gnarled branches of what looks like a probably forest of leafless trees outside to the west beyond the stone walls. So what do you guys do?
I mean, there's not anything out in the woods. I'm sure animals live there, not like animal people that are...
Oh, no. I'm sure there's some kind of monsters out there. I mean, there's monsters everywhere, right? You're standing with one.
I was just gonna say, we'll be out there, so we can be the tough monsters for the night, right?
Yeah. I mean, personally, I would prefer not to have to chop down a bunch of trees. So I'm gonna see if we have any for sale.
You guys, as you are walking back after having that conversation with the guards at the gates, kind of walking back towards Adventure Supply, I'll say that you guys now see Bolt and the others walking your way down this sort of stretch of main road here.
Did we happen to get a chance to check to see how much the wood was at the Adventure Supply thing?
I'll say that, I mean, just to let you guys meet up, I'll say that you both reconvene basically right outside Adventure and Supply.
Okay, sure. Bunch of weirdos in this town.
They said there's like a wolf man.
Wolf demon or something. Bunch of crazies, I bet.
Oh. Well, that goes a long way to explaining a lot of things.
Oh.
Did you see it?
What?
Well, one thing.
Oh. What happened?
Oh, no.
Well, Emma, in her inimitable ways, made a good friend or two. Why don't you tell the story, Emma?
Well, there was a lonely guy at the bar, right? And like, I was trying to make friends. I'm really good at making friends. And he called me a demon and attacked me, and we got him taken to jail. And he's an off-worlder like us, so we're gonna break him out.
Oh man, we're the most inconspicuous.
So how did you manage to convince a stranger that you were trying to make friends with that you were a demon?
He just assumed that I was a demon, and I wrote, it's because we were talking about fishing.
Did you say break him out?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, okay, so we're done. Oh, okay.
He's just having a night in the drunk tank, Emma. Jesus, we're gonna talk to him.
Oh, right. We're gonna shore bolt.
No.
Listen, this sounds like a really interesting story, but I have some lumber to buy, and that sounds infinitely more interesting than whatever psychopath you all found in the bar. So I'm gonna go check on that.
Oh, do you have oil?
Oh yeah, we found out that the.
Why would I have oil?
There's a currency problem here. He hands over a sack of 2 pounds of oil.
Nice.
This apparently is what they use for barter. Your gold is no good here. If anybody has oil, let's go ahead and find out what we have amongst our persons.
Can we make like counterfeit oil? Can't you do like ink stuff or something?
Ink is not oil.
Yeah, but.
Also, no, I can't do that anyway.
Doesn't Cogman drink oil? Isn't that what Warforged drink?
He's conspicuously silent.
Who answers?
Yes, I'm Cogman. I drink oil, yeah.
How uncouth.
All right, Il is confused and frustrated with this place already, so he's going to walk in the adventure supply store and ask, how much is 20 pounds of lumber going to run us?
You step inside and find a relatively decently sized, like, emporium version of any normal shop that you'd step into. Relatively nice space in here. You see plenty of things that you could find out of the normal like inventory in the 5e book under like adventure supplies. On top of that, you also notice quite a few amounts of what looks like some type of metal or ore behind the counter that is gives off a reflective nature and seems to be this jet black.
Whoa.
There is behind the counter, a gruff and very furry looking dwarf, both because of the things he wears and just in general seems to have a lot of hair across his body. You can see when his cuffs pull up a little bit as he grabs at a couple things that he has very hairy arms, and he looks up. Welcome. You aren't locals, it looks like.
No, we're traveling merchants.
Course. Welcome. The adventure supply got everything you need. What you looking for?
I am wondering, how much would about 20 pounds lumber run me? Y'all got any of that?
He looks around and says, got plenty of supplies, but that one is a little light on my list currently.
And Jason, what was the spooky forest nearby? The name of the spooky forest nearby?
Dead Frost.
So, pretty much hoof it out to Dead Frost then, huh?
I'll mark it here on your map since they did talk about it to you all. You'll see on the west side. He says, if you're looking to grab some yourself, and you see him kind of studying your eccentric group. Looks like some of you are relatively well armed and muscled, he says, kind of eyeing over Ironhide. Suppose you could grab some yourself. You know about Dead Frost out there, he says, asking.
Sorry, what did he say?
He's inquiring if you know about the Dead Frost Forest.
We know that there's some kind of rumor of a demon or some such out there, but we can fend for ourselves.
I heard the stories. We've had some strange things happening in the town past couple days, but a tall's tale. Nothing like that would be so close here to the walls. Look, if you're going to grab some yourself, I just have to ask, I hope you don't have plans to use this as a bit of warmth, or to burn it as a fuel source.
No, we're here to craft a building with it, yeah.
Alright.
An outpost, let's say.
See. Well, if you need a cart or anything like that, you could make sure and ask around a little bit. If you are looking for some type of... I may have some carts in stock here if you need it. If you're looking for... how did you ride into town? Caravan?
I psychically project back to the group. How the fuck did we get here?
Yeah, we got here via a caravan. We were coming up here and it kind of broke down. That's why we're going to work on an outpost. Some of the wood's also to help repair it.
Yeah, repairs.
Make a deception check. I'll say, does one of you have training in it?
I do not. Somehow I should.
I do not.
Nope.
Deception.
I'll say Thunder, you make this since you kind of led that up.
Table talk, wasn't that what we said to get in? Was our caravan, we were traders and our caravan broke down coming in?
I think so, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Why didn't we
still
just
trying
say monster hunters?
Oh, we're so dumb.
I mean, our trade is monster hunting then.
I guess it doesn't. Well, we've already invoked. Ignore the kid. Listen, how much for the cart? I try to change the subject as soon as I can. Hearing Thunderfall or Shinsuke's. What was Shinji?
Yeah, Shinji's fine.
Okay. Yeah, hearing Shinji's kind of blunder, I'll try to change the subject quickly if I can.
He eyes Thunder for a second, and his attention is pulled towards you as you ask Ill. I'm not going to do like the full currency exchange. You find out that oil in D&D is like 1 silver piece. So if we were to equate that to the things that you'd need in gold, you'd have to like heft a mountain of oil to buy the things you want. So we'll say that oil is a bit of a commodity here on the planet, and so therefore its price is equatable to the gold you need. So I'm going to say gold, but I'm talking about oil. So he sells the carts for the price that they'd normally be sold in like the barding stuff or whatever it is in like the D&D handbook, like the normal price. It doesn't seem out of except it's just in oil.
It's in oil, right?
Yeah.
Hold on, let's see. So I got 2 pounds of oil. And a cart is 15 gold pieces.
I'll say, we'll say that this is jacked up here. So, a pound of, it's 1 silver piece. We'll say it is worth 25 gold pieces. A pound.
Nice.
A pound of like a flask of oil.
Okay.
Taking a look around from when we've been here, is there? I know maybe like Shinji's tech is a little ahead of its time for these folks, but I made a couple fire starters, just little lighters. Does it look like they have anything like that? Because I'd like to maybe use that in trade with them, because I imagine a portable little pocket lighter might be, good for trade around here.
We'll say that, yeah, he's got like some matchboxes in stock that, like some flint and stuff that you could use, like a little tinder box. I think they sell that in D&D. He has, as you peer around Thunder, plenty of like cold weather clothing, bunch of furs and pelts. There's like a whole wall of just things that you could wear and make sure that you are fit to go out. He also has these interesting looking footwear that he points out as crampons that have a metal plate and spikes that are strapped to the sole of these boots. And this seems to give you a little more ease, he explains, to cross something like slippery ice or anything like that. He also has snowshoes, he mentions. He says to you, Il, after mentioning the price for a couple things, talking about the carts and stuff, he says, well, I don't know what you rode in with, but if you need any crinos, you may want to visit the animal pens. You may have to convince the owners to let you borrow some. I don't know that you'll be able to buy them outright.
I'll put 2 and 2 together and guess that that's something that'll pull a cart. And I, without mentioning anything else, all right, well, how about a cart and 2 hand axes for a pound of the good stuff? That's 25. Well, I don't say that out loud, but I think really loudly that's 25 gold.
Right.
An even exchange.
He also has plenty of oil to, let's say, barter with if you guys need to, like whatever you'd sell something normally. If we want to barter some so you can get some oil to buy some stuff, let me know, because obviously he doesn't take the gold coins. He agrees to this and says he'll send one of his men to fetch some of the carts for you. He heads over to the axes and says, got plenty of axes if you need them. Plenty of things to chop, both between the wood and ice if you need it. He turns to you and says, could always sell you an adamant axe if you really needed it, he says. And he holds up a separate axe. This one, the blade is not a silverish metal, but seems to be coated in a dark black material.
Oh.
A normal axe will do me just fine out there in the wilds, though, right?
Oh, for sure. Adamant will sure make the time go down a lot quicker. Get you home quicker. But
all right.
Happy to sell you an axe.
How much more for the fancy one?
He tells you the trade equivalence of what would be the normal price for an axe on top of 500 gold pieces.
We'll have to take a rain check on that. For now, we'll take the 2 normal ones.
All right.
Hey, and just out of curiosity, what's the black rock there behind you? What's up with that?
He's selling great axes for 30 GP, which is like straight from the book.
I have one of those. You would need one?
No, we don't. But you mentioned there was some sort of strange black rock.
Yeah, he turns and says, "Oh, that's what creates this," he says, and kind of holds up the black, almost rock-like coated axe. It's adamantite ore. We mine it from the mines just past Dead Frost. Anything you strike with something coated in this, if it ain't living, you'll cut right through it.
That's interesting. Good to know.
Can always coat the things you wear in it as well. Keep you safe from the things that may want to prick and prod at you out there in the wilds.
I've had a little bit of an expertise with working with this stuff, and I flick my chest piece.
What does that mean?
Wow.
Oh, like bing, bing. Okay.
Yeah. My armor's adamantine armor.
Nice.
There is a slight sheen of a darker color than the normal gray metal that is on Thunder's outer exterior. You would be able to relay Thunder then that anything he coats, he will charge you guys 500 to give you any normal weapon that has adamantite infused into it, as well as armor. If you guys buy armor with the adamantite, it basically makes any critical hit against you a normal hit. And
it's a really good ability.
Any weapon that he sells you coated in it, when you strike a non-living object, basically a material, it always critically hits.
It's quite good. Well, for now, I'm gonna walk outside and see if we can't take the cart to the stables or something. I'm done here.
He, as you begin to step out, he says, I know you're not from around here, so before you go, the dead frost, the trees are hardy. You're gonna need to chop them more than you may need to some other dead wood that you may be familiar with, and keep your eye out. Trees give off an energy. Sometimes the dead don't like to keep sleeping around it.
Okay. Interesting. Thanks for the tip.
Aye, he says. He sells you like a carve or whatever the appropriate.
I basically
5e
cut the
carve
2
price.
axes because that rounded it off to an even pound.
Okay. So you got yourself a cart, as well as 2 great axes in hand.
Just because it's an odd commodity, I'll trade a crossbow I'm carrying. It's got a cost of 25 GP.
So he gives you.
So I don't know.
He gives you a similar to how you traded in your stuff. He gives you a pound of oil back.
Okay, so what does the rest of the party want to do? I guess we could get something for the cart and we could go chop wood, but there's also that mine that we could probably go down and get a bunch of ore and get rich at.
Do we have a way to mine the ore?
Ill thumbs a grenade on his belt.
As you guys head out, the shop owner gives you the area of the animal pens.
Nice.
Everyone make a perception check.
Oh no, Jason.
Boy.
Jason. But then Cogman.
Got old man.
Oh, he has a +0.
I get it.
He needs to get his sensors calibrated. Oh, wow, he just rolled a natural 18. That's pretty good.
Yes, I'm missing half my face from getting it punched in by Golem.
That's a +4. Sorry, I forgot to add that. So
Okay.
it's an 8.
Okay. Ill and Emma, you guys see south of the adventure supply, there looks to be like a number of plots of land that seem to be filled with a pretty lightly covered bit of snow. It looks like different crops in a few different shades of like white to a light blue. It looks like the plots continue passing on from a small hill out behind some of the buildings as it moves to the east over to the area continuing just a bit south from the animal pens, although you do now both notice a number of smokestacks lifting from this area from behind the buildings. Other than that, you notice the similar smokestacks that come from a couple of the chimneys here in town. That's what you see.
It looks like so it appears that there is someone out there burning wood already.
Could be. You just notice quite a few smokestacks pluming up in the air from one singular location, from an area that looks like it would have plotted crops planted around. So you'd have to get closer to investigate.
Okay.
If you guys care.
Well, okay. He said not to burn it, right? He said there's no use in burning it.
That's what it sounded like.
But why? What was the reason?
Oh, some superstitious nonsense about the dead walking again or something like that. I was half paying attention.
Wait. Okay. Wait. I should have been paying attention too.
You're not far from the store, Emma, as you guys continue.
Yeah,
to
Emma's
walk.
gonna run back in the store.
Excuse me, sir. Hello.
Yes, little miss.
Burning wood. What does that mean again?
You mean the dead frost?
Yeah, sure. Dead frost. What is that about?
Oh, if you're trying to chop it down to use it as fuel, I wouldn't. Stuff burns terribly. Barely can hold a flame.
It what?
It can barely hold a flame. Just didn't want you folks passing through here to spend a few hours getting some wood just to waste your time.
So what holds flame around here?
Oil, mostly. And we have a couple normal trees, but they come outside of town here. Most of the ones surrounding this area are dead frost wood.
And people burn oil, typically, usually. That's normal, right?
It's the biggest way, among other things that are flammable, yes.
Okay. What was the undead thing part? What was it interesting? Or okay, you know what? Never mind. I think I just misheard someone. Okay.
It's the trees, miss. The trees give off
the dead wood. I got it.
energy.
Yeah.
Some say they're not alive anymore.
Well, that's
But they still grow somehow.
like,
Magic or something, I assume.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's superstitious. All right. Really superstitious.
I like how this guy led with, "Oh, those are just tall tales. But if you cut down the trees, the ghosts will rise from the ground and strangle you." Oh,
All right. Well, thank you for the tall tales and the tips. Talk to you later, sir.
Aye.
Yeah.
Ill is with some difficulty taking the cart over to the animal shed.
Okay. You guys have control of your little group token if you want to move it over to the animal pens.
Nice.
Let me go down here. Where are we? Okay, there we go. The jailhouse is right there, Bolt. I could just break in as a weasel and let him out.
Yeah, I'm trying to give you the best odds of success. I'm trying to think of diversion for you. And
Wait, you're trying to break out the guy that tackled you and called you a demon?
Yeah. I mean, he's an outsider and he knows. I feel like he's got some information that will help us.
And also, yeah, he seems to know something. As he was being dragged away, he wasn't too concerned about being manhandled so much as what else might be out in the night. And that kind of scares me poopless. If you'll forgive a flowery phrase.
It's
pungent one at least.
I guess a locked jail cell would be a pretty safe place to hide from a bunch of demons.
Would it?
Maybe.
Or would you be locked in a jail cell, just waiting to be eaten? Huh?
Okay, I don't really have a horse in this demon guy race, so whatever you guys want to do, I just gotta get an actual horse to pull this cart.
You look ahead, Ill, and see some open fields covered in a thick wooden fence that rises some feet high, but not above eye level here. You assume this is probably some grazing area, although you notice, interestingly, there doesn't seem to be any plants or grass or anything that's able to clear above the thick snow that is covering this area. At the end of one of the sides of this fenced-in area is a large barn, and the doors are sort of pulled to. There's also a small, stable house adjacent to this area, and you see kind of walking around outside, rubbing his hands off with a cloth. Looks like probably a stable master, male Goliath, as he kind of walks along and kind of looks up to meet your guys' gaze and says, "Welcome."
I don't want to hog the spotlight. Does somebody else want to lead this convo?
Go for it.
Okay. Howdy. Hey, listen. Our caravan broke. Yeah, right. Yeah, it broke. Listen, and we have this cart here because we need to haul some wood back to it, but we need a pack animal that's capable of carrying it. Is there anything that we could do to, in your infinite generosity, get you to maybe spare one of your beasts of burden?
Make a persuasion check.
Oh man, why do I always, the character that is bad at the thing, I make them bad at the thing, and then I do that thing. Instead of intimidation, which I'm trained in, I try to be diplomatic. Oh goodness.
Bolt will kind of like poke around him and say, and if generosity is not enough, we can pay a little.
Hey, 17 though.
To give him advantage for an assist on that.
Anna also gave you a +1 roll if you want to use it for anything
I'm gonna put it right smack on that 17.
Okay. Bolt, you said you're assisting to give advantage for ill?
Yeah, I'm trained in persuasion. So
fish for 20, ill.
Fish, fish, fish. Oh, be careful about the fish.
No.
Okay.
That 18 is perfectly respectable.
Yeah, still pretty strong. He says, he seeing that you guys do have a cart in hand and no other means to travel through the town, he says,
that depends. What did you use as your pack animals to come here?
He says, wiping his hands off.
They are so far away, and we are trying to make some time right now. We didn't, in our haste to depart, we did not think to bring something that could drag another cart with us. You see, ours was back there.
Everyone's so rude in this town.
You know how to handle a crino,
he says.
Easy.
Since I was this tall, and he holds up a hand that's as tall as he is.
Make a deception check.
Deception check?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, do you guys even know what a crino
I mean,
is?
unless you somehow know a crino.
I imagine that is a cold weather rhino if the name is anything to go by. Deception. What do you look at my kit here? This seems worth it. I'll dump my action card on here.
Yeah. Ooh, choose 2.
You. Well, I don't know the other ones work.
No, they don't. Give somebody bardic inspiration.
Deception. 4. Deception +4. Oh.
Oh, good thing. Good thing.
Oh, I was lucky I didn't have to spend a point on that. I would have gotten advantage.
Oh.
Fucking
well.
tenderfoots. He says, he looks you up and down, Bolt. Says,
fair enough. I'm not selling them, but I suppose I could rent them out to you for a few days, depending on where you need to go and return.
Well, I suppose it would be just...
I assume you're heading to Dead Frost. If you're looking for wood. Or I could be wrong. Oh, good. Okay. Well then, how many were you looking to take?
I mean, one should do the trick. We're only looking to haul around 20-30 pounds.
Yes.
Fair
Can
enough.
I insight check this guy?
Sure.
Does he seem like he really is doing business with us, or does he seem like he's gauging us at all? Because I'm gauging him. I feel. Insight check. Hello. Me too.
Whoa.
he is hard studying you all. You all are an eccentric group, and you get the sense that he is not sure if he fully believes Bolt in his ability to handle a crino. So, if anything, it seems like he's being cautious.
Can I kind of ease it up a little bit and tell him that I'm not confident? I'm not confident in handling a rhino or a crino, and if he has any tips for little old people like me, little scaredy cats like me.
He looks over to you, Emma, and then back at Bolt and says,
I'm sure your friend here could fill you in. Well then.
Okay, I guess.
We're
But you're
pros. I
like
got it.
the owner of them, so I just figured you might be a master, but it's okay. I don't want a master's advice, honey.
Now, we do know that is true. Personality means a lot in crino. You can tell us a little something, I'm sure.
Well, They'll get you through the snow, no problem. If you're needing to pull something, they are the apex of a beast of burden. And if you run into any trouble, don't try to attempt to fight anything while on top of it. Well then.
He tells you it is going to be the since we said that 25 gold pieces is a pound of oil, he tells you guys that it'll be 2 pounds for 1 day renting of a Crino. So 50 gold pieces essentially.
Damn. Okay. Well, since we
that'll cover food and boarding as well.
Sure. Well, since we've got at least 2 days on it. So let's say I'll give you I'll give you 2 pounds now, and then after we get back with our haul, we can divvy it in and settle up for the rest once we come back.
He scratches his chest.
You bring it back on 1 piece because I charge extra if I find any nicks on it. Then that sounds like a fair deal.
Very good.
If you'll hang on just a moment then,
he says, and he pulls open the nearby wooden gate and begins to head inside the area where the barn is enclosed. You watch as he steps over to the barn. You hear the unlatching of a door. A whistling sound coming from inside. And stepping outside as he leads it with a rope is a large creature that looks like a rhinoceros, but seems to be covered from neck down in a thick bluish fur. Its tusks on the front of its bluish face almost seem ice-like in nature and almost remind you of something like a scimitar from their sharpened edges.
Emma, can you actually handle one of those?
Can I do an animal check? Or, I'm sorry, a nature check on this thing?
Sure.
13.
Are you trying to learn anything specific about it?
If it looks like something similar to what I've handled before, like if it looks like a certain animal I know anything about.
You get the sense, Emma, because you probably spent some time like animals and stuff like that, before. Maybe a couple different ones in the past. As you watch the Goliath lead this Crino over outside of the pens, and he begins to kind of throw a saddle on it, and you kind of just study its movements using your nature check. It looks like that this Crino, despite being a pretty exotic looking thing to you, is relatively well trained. It looks like a relatively gentle creature, and it looks like that you wouldn't need too much. You get the sense that like this is not too different from something like a trained horse. Like it's pretty exotic, but as long as you jump on top of it. With your nature check, though, you also get the sense that you may want to make sure that you are bundled up, as you are able to pick up that this creature actually is a bit magical in nature and has a bit of a icy elemental nature to it.
Oh, good thing we bought the winter clothes.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
He leads it over to you all and leads it out of the pen. You notice now that it has a saddle and everything attached to it, and he hands over a hefty bag of feed to you, Bolt. You see as you open it up that mixed inside is some wilted, you can see a couple different scrapings of some like plants and stuff like that, leaves and twigs and things like that, mixed among a good amount of just what looks like a hardy ball of snow.
Huh.
Do we know what it eats.
So, just a point of order. Are we at the end of the day of this day? Is this something that we're going to set out tomorrow? Do we need to take this animal now, I guess is my question.
Go ahead, sorry.
There's no sun here, so I mean, I guess if everybody's feeling up for it, we could just go. It's not like we're losing daylight, you know?
To kind of answer in character, the Goliath just says,
everyone makes their own schedule here. Whenever you're ready, just remember, after about 24 hours, every 24 hours is another,
he basically says 50 gold pieces in oil.
Yeah. All right. I'm trying to buy us 20 minutes of running around town time while we make a distraction for Emma to go talk to.
So you know now, as far as you guys know, the only time limit you now have is a soft time limit of having to pay more when you return the rhinoceros. That's really it.
Okay, so in holding the bag of feed, I will now decide to notice a character. Oh, look at all that smoke and fire! He's gonna turn around and shout at the jailhouse. Look, you boys are terrible on watch. What are you doing? Get your shit together. You see this fire out here? You got.
David, it's a David!
You guys better do something about this. Now, you best clear out and start to get somebody on this. I don't know what you're doing. I would be ashamed if you were my guards.
Who are you? You're just yelling at the nearest guards?
Well, specifically, I'm thinking that the jailhouse is close enough, and that's the ones that I'm trying to distract the most.
Nice.
To get them to engage in the fire is what I'm trying to do. Or the smoke, I should say.
This is interesting. I'll say give me a persuasion check, but at disadvantage. But I can't tell you why.
Because it's like, that's the bonfire jamboree. What are you talking about?
It's not too far off.
Alright, well, got expertise in it. Okay.
Are you guys like, did you work your way up towards the jailhouse, or are you kind of just finishing this off here at the stables and kind of pointing and yelling loud enough for the jailhouse guards to hear?
Yeah, I'm just figuring like it's just like sidling over to the other side of the road hits me close enough to yell at somebody at the jailhouse.
Okay.
Is that an error in judgment in the size and scale of this place?
Or? No. That's fair. I just wanted to see if the Goliath that was handing over the animals was going to get involved or not. But if you're kind of moved over closer to the jailhouse, he's going to carry back on to his normal things.
Well, I would be yelling at the guys in uniform, which I would make a point to be the guys that are at the jailhouse specifically.
Right. Are you close anywhere to the Goliath that's working the animal pens, or were you worked away?
No, walked away from him.
Okay. The two guards that are standing at attention now, these look like the same ones from before. They're just now posted back up outside.
Yeah.
Turn to you all, and they turn and speak to one another for a second. You can't tell what they're saying from this distance. And then one of them begins to approach you guys. He steps up, covered in his different furs and things like that. It looks like a couple different, like white, almost looks like wolf pelts, and like a spear in hand, and steps up and says,
"Everything all right?"
Are you seeing this, son? You were protecting this place, right? And I see a fire. What are you doing about it, son? If you were my guards, I swear, you would not be standing around like this. What's your badge, son?
Well, he's doing that. If the guy looks to turn and to see what Bolt is looking at, I want to, like, where these bushes are, I want to, like, kind of inch over, hide in a bush, and turn into a weasel. A bright orange weasel.
Make a stealth check. There's one guard that's approached you guys, and his attention is turned to Bolt. The other one is still standing guard at the jailhouse, but he would still be paying attention to Bolt, who's kind of making a scene here.
Okay.
So you
I'll
kind
make
of
a stealth check to try to get away from Bolt.
Yeah, you're like trying to kind of sneak into some of the dead brush here nearby, so that you can transform.
My advantage to rid of this. Yeah, I'll just throw one of these down to cancel out my disadvantage.
Why would you have disadvantage?
I have some kind of, well, it doesn't fucking matter. My armor.
Oh, gotcha, okay. Your armor gives you disadvantage?
I don't turn into a weasel if they don't take their eyes off me. I don't turn into a weasel.
Emma, you begin to move over towards the sort of dead oak around here. The one that's next to Bolt is keeping his eyes trained on Bolt, but you do notice the one standing guard is kind of moving his eyes to just follow you. He doesn't seem suspicious of you. He's just like watching all of you, and kind of watching what you assume to be other guard mate.
Okay.
Bolt, as you're continuing to point, he looks to follow your hand, looking over at the smokestacks in the distance, kind of behind the Frosted Nipper, and says, "Oh, it's the pepper farms."
Pepper farms are on fire. Come on, you, me, and the 5 of us. Let's go.
No, sir. You're new here. The peppers are grown by the flame. They're pyre peppers.
What? How do you grow in flame, son? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
You should go grab some if you're traveling through here.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Me and my 4 companions are gonna go and do that. Come on. Everybody that I know that's here with me.
Oh, okay, sure.
Sure, boss.
Bring the cart, Ironhide.
Oh, you got it.
You guys
I'm a pilot.
attach the cart up to the Crino. As it breathes, as you breathe, there's an amount of mist that comes out, but for this particular Crino, there's a froth of mist as it breathes out, and anyone standing next to it feels the shiver of cold. It's like walking through like a supermarket area where the frozen foods are. It is just really chilly at that side from this creature walking next to you as you walk along with it. But it heartily pulls the cart and just kind of follows along with whoever has the reins to it.
I certainly don't. I'll let Ironhide handle that. I'm not touching that thing.
Yeah, I got it. I'm good with animals. I'm an animal myself.
All right, so what?
Best animal.
What's the play here, Pops? What are we doing?
Well, I don't know what you mean. Surely, I don't know. These guards, they're too well trained. They just... they can't be distracted no matter what I throw at them.
Oh my god.
Maybe we can handle it when we come back or something. Maybe we'll have better luck.
I suppose we'll have to try later. Let's go find out what these fire peppers are about. This cannot stand.
This is his mission.
Let's all of us head that way then. All 4 of us. He turns around and looks at Emma. 5?
Oh,
if you want to join us, that'd be great. Stranger that's just now catching up with us.
Oh. Okay, yeah.
He'll just pinches the bridge of his not nose.
Well, here we go. Casually walking down the road.
You guys carrying along the cart with your Crino. A couple eyes of the few passerbys kind of catch you. Goliath, 2 dwarves as they pass by, kind of eye you up and down. And continue on their way. You guys head down past the Frosted Nipper to some stands nearby. You see out in the distance a male-looking dwarf in some fields. The fields are open and look like plots of land similar to the ones past this sort of hill that separates what looks like the other crops on the other side, though these here are not covered in what looks like snow and the occasional cropping of some leaves and bushes that would denote some crops. These are actually covered in what look like campfire bundles, like, you know, a couple sticks put together to create this little bonfire, and quite a few of them are lit. And you actually notice, Bolt, from this distance, looking below it, I mean all of you would, that underneath the flame is what looks like a bundle of black vines and leaves, and sprouting out from some of the ends of the stalks, a bright reddish looking, slightly orange, thick pepper, it looks like. As you guys spy this, a female dwarf taking off one of her gloves and taking a drink from a canteen says, "Aye, welcome, you're new here."
Yeah, we are. Well, I certainly have never seen something like this. I just had to bring all of my friends along with me.
Well, welcome to Chilimir, as they call it. Who am I addressing here? Who's the leader of this ragtag bunch? She says. She looks to you all and says, "The name's Delrose. I'm one of the owners here of the pepper farm."
I suppose that I am the leader of this caravan. We're loosely associated bunch of traders, really, but, yes, I suppose that I would be me. Baltro.
He's the leader.
Nice to meet you, Baltro. And the rest of you. You're interested in the pyre peppers, I see, eh?
I am.
Interesting thing, those things. Got quite the history to them. But I won't get long-winded with you. Are you here to buy some? I assume you're going to do some traveling outside the city walls here soon, and if you're smart, you'll buy some of my peppers. Crush them up, make sure to eat just a little bit, perhaps sprinkle it over a nice ration or two. They'll warm your belly, make it like the cold isn't even touching you outside.
Sorry, guess what?
She says that it'll warm your belly and make it as though the cold isn't even affecting you outside.
Oh, okay.
That's quite an ingredient.
Does sound rather magical. Let me check my pocketbook of oil. Does anybody have oil?
I think we're fresh out.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was gonna
She
say.
steps over to one of the stalls here. You actually see that there's a couple of stalls here, smaller stalls set up that have some reddish orange striping and a couple of these peppers painted onto them. And she grabs a bag up and pulls them out and tells you that the trade value is worth 1 gold piece. She actually lays one down on the table and says, "You want to try one? I'll crush it up for you."
I do love me a spicy foods. Yes, ma'am. I will not say no. Have you got some?
I want one.
No, fair enough. You haven't tried it. I could give you 2 to try. She grabs up another one. She throws them in like a mortar and pestle and begins to crush them up. Not so much spicy as fiery, though, Bolt, she says with a wink.
Yeah, I understand the metaphor. Yes, it's spicy.
She continues crushing, and she looks to you and says, "Now, if you're going to buy them, you could always try to just eat one whole, but I wouldn't suggest it unless you're feeling lucky." And she pours a bit of the powder out of the mortar onto a cloth and wraps it up for you and hands it over. "Give it a try," she says. "Sprinkle it on some food if you wish, but you could just take it by itself."
See, I don't know what I have.
Come on, sissy, take a bite.
I got food. You want some Debbie's to put it in?
Oh, well, I suppose. Do you have any? Yeah,
No.
all right. That's
Take a
fine.
Debbie, yeah.
I'm just imagining flaming hot Cheeto dust right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine that I'm like a Twinkie, and I'm like,
Correct.
no, that's okay. You keep those. Bottoms up, Emma. Oh.
You
I
guys.
want to put mine on a little Debbie.
Okay. Bolt, you kind of just bend the cloth and do that thing where you just pour it into your mouth. Emma, you kind of frost over a Debbie and eat it. It is not spicy, but there is a heat in your mouth that flows down your throat. It's not burning hot, but there is a sensation of heat as if you just drank very warm or hot tea. And after a couple seconds, after you both have swallowed, you feel a very warm, especially being on this planet, a welcoming sensation, as if you guys are sitting next to a open fireplace. There is a warmth here that pervades inside of your bellies now, and you guys enjoy the benefits of the pyre powder.
Well, this sounds euphoric and addictive. Give me one random D20 to tell you how much I feel about that. Oh, thank God. I did not need a pepper addiction right now. Oh, this is pretty good stuff. What do you think, Emma?
We should buy the whole batch.
Oh, well that... No, we don't have that... Maybe next time, Emma. We're running low on supplies.
You got anything to trade? We barter in this town. Don't have to throw me oil necessarily, she says. I'll sell you as many as you want.
I chime up and I hold up one of the lighters to her. They only take 10 gold to make, so I don't know if whatever the conversion rate, but I assume maybe it's more expensive because they need fire in the freaking cold. So I just hand her one of them and say, would this work?
Yeah, if that's 10 gold pieces to make, she says, this'll buy you 10 peppers.
Awesome. Now you just press the thing on the back and with your thumb, and it makes a little flame. Don't hurt yourself.
She holds it up and very safely clicks the back and sees the flame pop out.
Nice.
Yeah, like that.
This is a handy thing. Did you make this?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. You look pretty young, too. You've got a knack for things like this. This'll come in handy for the peppers. I appreciate it. She throws in 2 more into the batch for 12.
Oh man.
Yes. Yes.
We got some good meals ahead of us. I just know it.
Wraps them up in a nice satchel for you and hands them over.
Who's holding on to him?
Quartermaster.
Our chef.
I guess that would be me. Yeah, I'll hold on to him. 12 fire pepper.
Fire pepper. 1 pack of fire peppers.
Have you all visited the Frosted Nipper?
We have not. No. But let me ask you something. These peppers, that's all you grow in all these fields?
Well, here at these farms, yeah. If you're looking for normal crop, you'd find that next door to us. Across the hill behind us.
Are they specifically dangerous?
The peppers?
Yeah, well, I should say, are they prone to being dangerous to the town? Now, the reason I ask you this, it seems an odd question, I'm sure, is, well, you mentioned the Frosted Nipper. We were passing by, and it seemed some rabble was getting thrown up out of it, I should say. And he seemed mighty concerned about everything, looking around like he was trying to spot fires. He was being dragged away. You know what he may be looking for? I expected that he noticed all this fire like I did. Does that make sense out of character, what I was asking?
Yeah, she says, okay. The peppers here, they, depending on how you consume them, can be a little fun. She says, I mentioned the tavern because they sometimes have some pepper eating contests for a bit of oil. Eat a full one and keep it all down in the stomach without burping some flame, and you could find yourself in possession of some oil. Beyond that, it's not like they explode or anything, or make you crazy from what it seems like.
Man.
I do wonder what he was looking for then.
There's been some disappearances here in town. Something happening about some type of thing falling from the sky into the lake up north. A couple teams were sent up that way to investigate. We've had a few stragglers come back. Some of the party got separated. There's some things, but the speaker of this village is looking into it, so it shouldn't worry you none. You can carry about your business. Just keep your head on your shoulders.
Oh, well, thank God. The peppers are safe, everybody. That's all we needed to hear. We do appreciate that.
Don't worry about the peppers.
Oh, we won't. And I psychically say to Bolt, okay, something crashed in the fucking lake. That's got to be, like, something Dark Trine related, right?
I assume so. Nothing really seems to be going that high while we're here.
Yeah,
all right.
It was a fire lich.
Listen, I'd love for us to enter in a bunch of pepper contests, but we need to get this wood with meat and potatoes back to the ship before we do anything else.
North was the way that we came in, right? Now that I'm thinking about it.
I thought it was east.
You guys came from, if you look at the east, the walkway outside. There's not like an actual wall of stone here on the map, but just assume that there is. Out to the squid ship on the east side.
Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm there now.
I should have enough here to hopefully orient you. Squid ship to the east. On the far side is the forest. And
I conflated northeast with being north. That was on me.
Now that she has mentioned it, and you've heard the name Lake Numb before, you guys now know where the lake is located.
Well, good to know. Hey, you seem like a canny farmer type. What's the path over the river? Leads down southeast ways.
Oh, that's heads into some more deadwood. Not much there, though. You'd find more luck over in the Dead Frost Forest over to the west side.
Sure. Hey, you ever hear of any, like, spooky stuff? I mean, spookier than normal happening in the Dead Frost Forest? Something about, wolves?
Well, you always gotta watch out for the wolves. We've had some increased activity from the damn things over the last couple nights. Nothing out of the norm, though. Must be a nearby pack who's more hungry than the previous nights. In terms of stories going on out there, heard something about a light in the dead frost. Something eerie. Not much beyond that, though.
Okay. It will remind everyone that some crazy bloke that walked by said not to go towards the light.
Towards the light.
She also says, you all are relatively new here, it seems.
Right.
If you're doing any business out in Dead Frost, just keep your wits about you. The light coming from whatever that thing is, I believe those are rumors at best. But the trees themselves got a magic to them. Just be careful.
We heard. We have heard.
Good.
The flashing lights are bullshit. The trees will kill you.
Yeah, I like how they immediately undermine one tall tale and then reinforce it with a different tall tale. Anyway, shall we, everybody? Y'all want to go get the wood or what? What are we doing?
Oh, we are on a clock at which we cannot keep paying for this lovely steed of ours without procuring some wood. Yeah, let's go get some.
All right. Walking towards the Dead Frost Forest.
You guys begin to head towards Dead Frost, cart in hand.
And meat and potatoes were with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
All those poor souls.
We have left them at the Nipper, though. If we're coming back, we would be coming back, right?
Let's hope.
We took more and left a few. Or maybe we took a few and left 2. Something like that.
Leave them at the Nipper.
So, tell me this. How many of the crew came with you?
All of them.
I thought it wasn't it 2 of them that?
No.
Because Crew, there you go.
Yeah.
Him and I think the one of the other living ones stayed with the
guard the ship. Because I remember asking, like, are they going to be able to survive in the cold? And it sounded like they were going to be able to, so.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Crude would be left there to watch over Briarburn because of his pretty severe burns. He's healed, but he's still resting from it all, because in my world, if you're healed from bad burns, like, you're not dead, but he probably still feels the sting, and his skin is pretty fucked up, so he's probably just taking a mental break from it all. We'll say that the other crew member whose name is escaping me, one of the humans, is following along with you guys. So if you want, you're more than welcome to have him just hang out at the Frosted Nipper if you'd like to go while you gather this wood. It's up to you guys, so you can bring him with you too if you want.
I mean, it's going to be hard enough to keep this Crino alive with our track record. Let's not risk it by bringing crewmates.
Yeah. Shit.
I think it was Lurin is his name.
That sounds right.
The surviving brother.
I can give you. All right. Here, you can have this lamp. Maybe you can trade it for something. Oh wait, no, it doesn't have oil in it already. I don't know what you can pay to stay at the inn though. I don't have anything left.
He just solemnly says, "It'll be fine, Captain. I assume you guys will just be gone for a few hours. I can hold myself over until then."
Okay, well, sounds good.
Sounds good.
You guys begin to make your way over to the Dead Frost Forest. The two guards at the gates meet you again and open up the large wooden doors that lead out of the stone walls here and begin to head into a thicket of different trees here, all dark black. They're wood, blacker than normal oak that you've seen before, and it only goes so far into the distance, and it becomes a little bit difficult to see because of the low light. So it's not darkness around here, but it is, it's almost like a twilight, if you will, that surrounds this area here. You guys carry along and hear the doors behind you begin to close. And let's see, let's get a cart for this guy here. What's your marching order?
I'm with the cart.
Ill is gonna stay farther behind because he's got them guns, so he can help from a range if anything jumps out at us.
Sure.
So like back here, I guess.
Bolt would try and stick in the middle as much as possible.
I want to be with Ironhide.
Mr. Cog, why don't you assist Ill back in the rear then?
Is anybody riding the Crino?
Can I ride the Crino?
Sure. Looks like there's room for two.
Come on, Bolt, let's ride the Crino.
Ride the Crino. I am scared. It's quite big. And I can't talk to it, so it scares me.
Oh, you wanna talk to it, Bolt?
I don't need to talk to it. I'm fine. It's fine. We're fine.
Do you wanna talk to it? Because I'm gonna talk to it.
Oh. Well then wish it its best, and I'm gonna go check on Ill and Mr. Cog.
Hey, we're fine.
I'm gonna just are
you okay? You look sweaty and cold.
I'm not getting trampled by anybody. What are you talking about?
Okay, all right. Hands down. Good times. This is gonna be fun chopping wood.
You guys
pulls out a pill pack and just
heart medication.
You guys head a little bit into the forest. The town disappearing a little bit behind you. Although between the trees in the distance, you can still make out the stone walls. You make it far enough in to where you are surrounded by enough trees and things like this to feel like this would be a good area for you to collect as much wood as possible. And as you kind of pull up through the snow here, you guys happen upon what looks like a small little area where the snow dips down and descends a little bit. You can see some tufts of the brown dirt poking through, and in the middle of this area, between some outcropping rocks from the snow in the center, looks to be what looks like a unlit bonfire that was used at some point but is now out. And I'll move the map over.
Oh.
Oh, look at the Crino.
Well, this doesn't augur well.
Okay.
I see somebody's backpack over there.
In the distance, you see a couple stacks of this, what looks like dead frost wood. And beyond that, you see what looks like, covered in a healthy amount of snow, some type of backpack or knapsack.
I don't like this.
You guys want some fire?
Yeah, sure.
I am just gonna produce flame, and hold it in my hand.
You.
It's gonna shed.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll just. It's Oh, it doesn't post what it does. Okay. Sorry, it just sheds dim light for additional 10 feet, or in a 10-foot radius. No, I'm sorry. It sheds bright light in 10-foot radius and dim light for additional 10.
Gotcha. Let's see here. As you produce this and hold it up in your hand, Emma, you hear a snort and a shift of the crino beneath you. You kind of have to, with your other hand, kind of grab it a little bit.
Oh, it's okay, buddy.
Emma, you be careful up there.
He's fine. I'll take.
Be careful.
Well, this smells like a trap. You all watch my back while I go check what's in this highly lootable backpack.
Every time. We'll watch your back every time. Just like all the times.
Il will look at the backpack, kind of look around, see if anything's changed, and then kind of duck down and try to open the backpack.
Ew, wait!
Ah!
Just, never mind. That's awesome.
You bend down after peering around Il. It doesn't look like anything's changed in the surroundings around you. There is the kind of relatively strong winds and snow that buffet you, and you can kind of see the surrounding area of a couple different what look to be these dead frost trees. And peering down, you have to work off a bit of snow from this knapsack, and as you kind of pull it open, it's the piece keeping it tied together. You have to kind of rend free from some ice kind of holding it. You hear the snapping a little bit, and as you pull it open, the rope that was holding it together just snaps because it looks like it was frozen pretty tightly. As you open up the knapsack and pull it out and peer inside, you see a couple, I think three rations.
Oh.
You find a regular dagger.
Okay.
There seems to be one piece of this dead frost timber that was like just shoved inside. And as you're kind of just moving around, you find a scroll inside.
Oh, now we're talking.
Does it look like a magical scroll?
As you kind of pull it up and just unroll it a little bit, it looks like it is some type of quickly etched handwriting onto the scroll here.
Well, I will bring it back into the light where we can all read it together.
Mm-hmm. As you unfurl this scroll, it reads, can't remember. Came from the north. Pulled myself out of the ice.
Oh.
Tried to travel. Find something. The devil got me.
All right, listen, it's probably nothing. But look, somebody left all this lumber here for us, so we're already partially done with why we even came here in the first place.
How much, Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna... Can I do some kind of religion check to see if there's any, like, weird culty things happening around here?
Sure.
Let's see if I can roll over a 10, everybody. Oh, I have that bardic inspiration, and I plan to use it.
Wait, no.
Okay.
Just no.
Might as well use it now. 16.
Nice. Emma, your light in your hand. You're just trying to check the area with a religion check?
Yeah, see if there's any signs of, like, weird religion stuff.
As you peer around, now with a flame produced in your palm, you notice on the tree behind you, down in the bottom left corner, the dead wood here is frayed a bit, and it looks as though there is a clear marking or a small area where the bark has been sort of like wrenched free, and something is carved into it. As you go ahead.
Shizuka, go ahead.
I'd like to take an investigation check to see if I know what it was. What kind of something? The vaguest idea?
Well, you can do that. Let me just say that with Emma's religion check, Emma, this symbol is, it looks as though it was very crudely carved into the tree. As if either whoever did this couldn't do it in time, or perhaps there is a thickness to this wood. You're unsure. It's faint, but you're able to make out a symbol. It looks like a crescent moon waning in the sky, slowly drifting down beyond the horizon. With your religion check, you are unsure why this seems familiar. You can't tie it to any religion, but there does seem something religious about this iconography nonetheless.
And I do want to spend, if we're here for 10 minutes, I do want to detect magic on this.
Sure, just detecting magic on the tree itself or the symbol?
On the tree itself, the dead wood.
Is that like an instant action, or does it actually take 10 minutes?
As a ritual, it takes 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it lasts 10 minutes after that, so she could like walk around with it.
Okay, so Emma, you begin to sit down and focus with a flame in one hand so that you can begin to detect some magic here. You look around and scraping some snow off of some of the stacks here. It looks like there is, what'd you guys need, 20 pounds?
20 pounds, yeah.
Looks like between everything that's here, there's at least probably 5 or 6 pounds of wood that's usable.
Okay, all right.
But there does seem to be plenty enough of the trees that surround the area where you could just grab a hand axe and head over to and probably chop the rest.
Well, let's see. You got a great axe, right, Ironhide?
Oh yeah, I got a great axe. I got 2 hand axes, and I got slash and blast.
Okay, that's a lot of weaponry. Thunderfall. How about an axe? You and me will start chopping with old Ironhide here.
Sounds good to me. I don't know how well I could use an axe, but my fists are pretty darn strong.
Hey, man, as long as it gets the stuff into our cart, that's all that's important to me.
I've got an 8 strength.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Maybe me and Ironhide will just go.
No. I think I'm the master lumbersmith.
You certainly will be compared to me, my friend, but I will do what I can.
I mean, happy medium, my armor's made of adamantine. I'm punching with my fist. It's thunder damage. Maybe just if that could work in lieu of an axe. I mean, just at least an even roll on it.
You feel like, without needing to do any checks, that would take an exorbitant amount of time. Doable, but you're not really doing slashing damage or doing bludgeoning damage. So, possible. Well, thunder damage, I should say, yeah. So, possible, although you just get the sense that it may take a little bit more time than just using a sharpened blade to cut into it.
Tell you what, Thunder, you keep an eye out for all those ghosts and lights and wolves that everybody kept yammering on about.
The investigation tech usually takes about 10 minutes. Anyways, to get a proper assessment of the area, could I just take it while she's doing that, just start searching around for stuff, see if I find anything else, or investigate the tree or whatever?
Yeah, is there anything specific you're trying to look for?
I know the snow probably covered it up, but maybe where whoever was here went, or if there's any clues to anything else that was here. Just kind of a general Holmes, like Sherlock Holmes kind of check. Like, do I notice anything out of the ordinary that, you know, aside from that symbol that was carved in the tree?
So yeah, the symbol on the tree, Emma was able to spot. She's not sure. She gets a sense that it may be some type of religious symbol, but she's unsure. As you take some time to peer around, kind of kicking through the snow and peering around, give me a check.
It's a natty 20.
Nice. Good boy.
Nice. You are able to notice with a natty 20, which I need to give you a good boy card first off. So grab one of those.
I was a good boy once.
You notice that although there are no more visible footprints here, there is still these small specks of tiny specks of dirt and debris that would mark where a footstep would have been made. And you're still able to make out that from wherever this spot was next to this knapsack, that the footsteps carried on and seemed to head back into, or at least towards, the town that you guys are next to, Chilimir. As you are also walking through because of your natural 20, you continue to follow the footsteps a little bit before they eventually disappear. The specks or something that would have denoted at least a place where someone had once stepped disappear. There seems to be a tiny piece of white that seems different from the snow around it, and you kind of just dig your gnome hand into the snow and pull it up, and you pull out a tattered looking bandage.
Bandage?
Oh no.
What?
Stinking bandages.
Boss, I wasn't there. I don't know if she said it or not. Didn't Emma get attacked by someone who was like, wrapped up in bandages and stuff?
Actually, yeah.
I think that town needs to know there might be a wolf among us.
What?
I hand him the bandages. I found a track or two. I mean, they're almost gone, but they were different footprints, and they look like they circled around here a bit and then went back to town, and this was in the snow in that direction too.
Well, yeah, that sounds pretty bad. All right, everybody, I guess, shit.
We gotta finish the job. Well, we're not leaving already, are we?
No, we are not. Bolt snaps his fingers and casts Animal Messenger.
Nice.
By means of this spell, you use an animal to deliver a message that I choose to tiny beasts within range. So like a squirrel or a blue jay or a bat are the examples that it gives.
There is a very dark, almost bluish colored fur bat hanging from one of the branches of the trees nearby.
That's the coolest thing ever.
Bolt turns around and just looks and points at it and says, "You there, soldier, report here," and he stamps twice with one on each leg.
Silhouetted in the red moonlight behind you, it spreads its wings from hanging upside down and drops and flies over, landing on your shoulder.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say he gives him a little perch.
On your finger then.
So I can talk to him. It's like, all right now, little buddy, I need you to go and I describe the. Do I describe? Do we met like an official, right? Last week.
We heard of her. We didn't meet her.
You heard of Speaker Fearless Herder, who is a female Goliath, who supposedly makes it seem from the different people here that she holds some authority, though none of you have met with her.
So the spell says that I have to like describe somebody. Did we get an idea of what she looks like that I would feel comfortable describing it? Otherwise, I'll describe the bartender.
Unfortunately, not her, no.
Okay. Actually, I think instead I'll target the guard that I made all that with.
Okay. Idea. The one that you try to distract.
Words, it delivers in my own words, it delivers a 25-word message, and it can go up to 50 miles in 24 hours. So it's going to be so I'm going to set it's on its way, and I can't think of a message, but if anybody can help me write one, we'll do that.
Just a warning. Yeah, just
okay.
But yeah, what would be like the general outline, like just a quick brief sentence or two of what the bat would relay?
It would sound like an old postcard, like an old telegraph. Warning, stop. There's a big monster coming. Stop. We've found some wild shit out here. Stop. But I would be more helpful, but that's the kind of tone that it would be. Like describing that we found a note describing some devil chasing something, and then we found tracks that looks like it caught it and then head your direction.
Okay. So that's the full contents of your note then, or your message?
Yeah. Found note about devil. Devil seemed to catch note. Writer. Devil towards you. I spell good. Stop.
All right. You relay this to the bat. It gives out and licks underneath one of its wings, and then just falls from the tip of your finger and begins to spread its wings out and begins flying towards the walls of Chilimir out in the distance.
Neat trick.
Godspeed, son.
Neat trick.
That came in handy.
Cool.
So I'm gonna go chop some wood.
Yep.
In the distance, as you guys finish that, you hear the snapping of what sounds like twigs and the groaning of wood behind you.
I undo the snap on my gun holster.
I walk over to Ironhide, smack him on the shoulder, and cast Enlarge on him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I feel so big right now.
Ironhide, you watch as everyone around you shrinks, and you look to your right and find yourself nearly the size of the Crino standing before you.
I knew I was bigger than that thing.
It looks over to you,
buddy,
and just gives a big, snouty, breathing cold air your way and turning back. You watch as it sort of leans over and actually begins to just like grazing on grass, it begins to engulf just the ice below it as it kind of just grabs a couple mouthfuls of snow, and you hear crunching between its teeth as it does.
Yeah, these are all right.
He's my friend.
All right, so I guess I look over in the direction of where the snapping came from.
It is hard to tell as you look behind you, and see the expanse of the dead frost just going off into the distance, into the darkness.
I'm gonna yell, "Come out or I'll shoot."
You yell this and wait in silence. A strong wind buffets the area. You hear again a similar groaning of wood. And nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Emma, can you speak tree?
I can locate plants and animals if you want me to.
Il just looks at the forest around him. Unnecessary currently.
And I don't speak tree. I can speak Druid.
Do Druids speak tree?
I'm gonna yell in Druid and see if that does anything. I'm gonna yell specifically, "Don't mind my ugly friend who's trying to shoot you. We can be friends if you want."
You yell this, your words cutting through the sharp winds that buffet this area. A lot of you, even having donned these woolly furs, of course, technically it keeps you protected from the extreme weather, but it's still very chilly, and all of you kind of pull up some of the sides of the fur hoods to keep the wind from even trying to touch your skin as it's so cold. Emma and Bolt, on the other hand, because of the chili powder inside of you, you can still feel that at the outer edges where the wind touches your skin, it's just a little cool, but you are so warm from the sensation in your stomachs that it doesn't feel that bad. You notice some of your shivering teammates beside you. You yell this, Emma, and pull your hand down from your mouth and look on into the distance in the darkness between the trees. Nothing happens.
Oh, I guess I don't speak Druid. That's a shame. Let's see. Can I... wolf. Can I try to locate a wolf? Describe a name or a specific kind of beast. Concentrating on the voice of nature in your surroundings, you learn the direction and distance to the closest creature or plant of that kind within 5 miles, if any are present.
You learn the direction and distance to the closest creature of that kind within 5 miles. About half a mile out from where you guys are, in the distance, likely still somewhere here in the Dead Frost Forest, is a wolf.
Oh.
You're not sure what specific species of wolf, but you get a pang, a sensation in you that somehow translates in your mind a distance of about half of a mile further into the forest of a wolf.
Well, good news is that I found a wolf. Bad news is it's not whatever's around here right now.
Il fires a very clear warning shot into the forest up at the boughs of the trees towards where the noise was coming from.
Jeez, everybody get close.
The shot rings out. All of you see a couple tufts of snow from the nearby dead limbs that make up the dead frost trees fall down onto the snowy ground. You hear the screech of a couple bats in the distance, Bolt, and see them kind of lifting up into the air, their silhouettes moving across the red moon above you all.
Emma is gonna shout out,
Yeah, I know that was like really vicious and ferocious and threatening and scary, but if you still want to be friends, we have peppers I can share. It's really cold. You can be friends with us.
What is everyone's passive perception?
Oh no. Not worth mentioning.
Mine's a 14.
13. Emma, you yell that out and don't hear a response, but anybody have a 15 for passive?
No.
Cogman?
I know that's kind of high. Has anybody got Cogman's sheet open?
10.
Okay.
My passive investigation, 17.
You hear the sound of shuffling snow, but of course still see a couple tufts of it falling from some of the tree limbs around here. Your shot probably echoed along here ill and caused a little disruption in the area. Emma, you yelled out, but hear no response. Besides the strong winds that buffet this area and a general slight spookiness that tinges this spot, it doesn't seem like there's anything else here that you see.
Well, let's get to cutting wood. Waste of time.
You go first, Ironhide. I'll follow you.
Okay. Protect my friend. Don't let anything hurt my friend.
What tree do you go to?
Yeah.
Which tree do I go to?
Yeah. To start cutting some wood from.
I want to go to this one.
Emma, you step up to this campfire here and notice the bundles of this darker, what looks like dead frost wood that was chopped and put in the center here. You see a little bit of ash underneath, but it largely looks as though these weren't completely lit.
Somebody left in a hurry.
can I shuffle through this too? Just to look around?
Shuffle through
The wood, just to see if there's any.
Sure, you shuffle through the wood. There's a bit of ash caked in snow underneath, and it almost looks like you could probably just grab another log or two from here. It wouldn't add to your stack, but that's how good of condition this pile is. It's almost like you see a bit of ash underneath, but it's almost like it wasn't lit, or not for long at least.
I'll just light it to see how long it stays, and I'll wait and watch them cut wood.
You're trying to light it with your flame in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
You, as Ironhide heads up to one of the trees here with his great axe, you lower your hand underneath the wood that's kind of stacked up to touch at the tops in the center, and watch your flame caress them. You've done this many times before, Emma. You know, you wait a couple seconds and then the wood catches. You wait and wait between the winds that buffet your flame, although you're keeping it pretty steady underneath here at the center. It seems like this wood is having a particularly difficult time catching on fire. You see sometimes the edges of it curl up with a lick of flame, and then it goes out.
Did my detect magic go off at all, or?
We'll say that between the hijinks of you guys yelling out and stuff like that, and you finishing up the ritual, Emma, your detect magic ritual is complete. You sense a presence of magic within 30 feet of you. Let's see. Emma, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and let me just take a look here. You feel the pangs of something magical in the area, but don't sense anything specific in the area that you're at.
while they're cutting, can I just wander around a little bit? I'll stay close to them.
You begin, Ironhide, to dig your axe into the tree here.
Yes, please.
You throw your axe into the tree. This wood, even despite your larger size, is particularly resilient, Ironhide. It almost feels like you're back on the base trying to chop into the steel walls that surround the quagga. You have to really put some emphasis into it. This wood is strong. You continue to chop, and you can feel the bits of snow and stuff kind of continue to fall from the branches and topple onto you as you continue chopping. Let's see here. Emma, as you step around, in this area, coming from the tree and spreading out to what feels like the roots below it, is what feels like a strong magical aura.
Ooh.
Would she be able to sense the type of magic from Detect Magic? Or just the presence of magic?
I believe Detect Magic...
School.
Yeah, it's the School of Magic, yeah. Just make up a School of Magic. Snowmancy.
Tomfooleryism.
Snowmancy. Hang on a
Cronyism.
second. Hang on. I know how to find this. Hang on, sorry. Give me just a second here.
Fireballism.
Okay, that is a school. I just wanted to make sure. Emma, you sense the strong presence as you near the tree trunk here, as this magical aura fills the area around you of necromancy.
Necromancy, I knew it. Undead trees, necromancy.
You also sense that just nearby, probably 5 or 10 feet somewhere around here, is some type of humanoid. And as you are watching, looking around Bolt, you feel the shifting vibration, the hum from Cassandra within your belt.
Oh no! Oh no!
It is
That's
about
bad.
at this time, as this happens, Bolt, that you all begin to see hands, bony, some covered in flesh, others just the bone itself, drive up from beneath the snow. And you all watch as these icy skeletal figures begin to pull themselves up from the snow. Emma, one right next to you, it tries to grab at you, but because you're, I'll say, close enough to Bolt, able to quickly pull your foot back so as not to be grabbed by the thing.
Oh, cool.
It's really cool. They seem to be covered in ice as they pull themselves up.
Crino!
There
Nice
seems to
haircut,
be
Johnny Test.
quite a few around you. There's the other type.
Ooh! Oh no.
Okay, I'm scared of that one.
As they pull themselves up, they turn to you all and hiss a low but eerie hiss. And I need everyone to please roll initiative.
Oh god, I need a good pun here. Beats chopping wood as he cocks his gun.
What? That's not a pun.
I'm workshopping it. Give me something to work with.
Let's try our chops at these.
Okay, yeah, all right, there we go. There, now we're talking.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, fuck, that's good.
At least they're not giving us a cold shoulder.
Oh.
Got him.
We're dead.
We're fine.
Yeah, sure.
You kill one undead, you kill them all.
God, what a kick in the dick, man.
They look chilled to the bone.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, that's good too. Fuck. He'll still like loading ammo into his gun.
Muttering these things underneath his breath.
There's this lizard guy who makes really good puns on that Hollow Vid show too.
I doubt it.
It's all written. They have time to write it before they say it.
Yeah, it's a script. It's a script.
Yeah.
Nobody's that clever.
We're discussing Holovitch shows. You're loading your gun, and there's a swarm of undead zombies. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's like Zombieland.
Oh boy, they go fast.
Oh my god, how many of these things are there?
Well,
I'm just gonna roll further groups instead of trying to separate all of them out one by one. I think that'll be more apt for combat here.
while you are doing that, what is a good check that one could make on these guys?
Hey,
Fucking Cogman.
Nature, Arcana.
Oh, you're.
I already rolled for Cogman.
Yeah,
What's up,
okay,
Poochie Mane?
Oh no.
Investigation. There's plenty of things you could do.
How's about a religion? They're undead, right? That sounds like something you
They
do.
are undead. That's right.
Well, that is an unnatural 20.
Nice. A religion check. That's interesting. With your religion check, it seems as though, from the way that these undead move, some of them move in a way that seems natural if you've ever seen an undead before, which I don't know if Il may have. Let's say he has before. Others move in a sense and way that give off the feeling, because let's say that you have enough acumen in a religion check, especially with this 20, to get the sense that perhaps some of these were a sacrifice of some type, purposefully left out here to die, as opposed to just being caught out in the wilds and suffering death.
What's up with the T.H.U.N.D.E and all the undead? They had those.
We don't know if this is T.H.U.N.D.E. This might just be this fucking planet.
And let's do the Crino. Oh, he's a slow baby.
Oh no.
Good little friend.
There we go. Alright. Whoops. Not a 1. It's better than that. Alright, let me do descending. And up first is these strange creatures made of skeletal bone and scraps of clothing from what looks like is left from their living days. Large, sharp eye shards surround their bodies, going up their shoulders, almost like shoulder pads, and up across their faces, almost to create a spicy, almost hair-like look to them. They look out to each of you. Let me see here.
Mamma mia.
Okay, I'm just checking. Okay. Alright. So, this one's gonna go first up here. You watch as this one does not trudge through the snow, but rather just lifts up just a bit off the ground and floats.
Oh.
5, 10, 15, 20, over to you, Ironhide.
Oh, hello.
It reaches out a hand. From this distance, Ironhide, as you look on it, there's almost just a bit of translucency to this one.
Oh.
As it reaches out a hand to touch you for 13 versus AC.
No.
Okay.
Miss.
You're able to quickly just swerve out of the way, and you just hear a soft...
Fuck.
So the one floats 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Here, up to you, Thunder, and it reaches out a slightly translucent hand for 14 versus AC.
No, sir.
All right. Completely misses. Emma, you are up. There's one covered in ice and snow right next to you.
Well, it's true. I have this flame and I need to get rid of it, but I can't do it to this one without disadvantage. I'm gonna throw it over at my good buddy Shinjuka.
We'll see. We'll say that just before you attack Emma, that because you're so close to this one, you can see attached to its belt is both a long sword and what looks like a bow of some type.
Oh no.
Covered in frost.
Okay. Oh no. Yeah, I'll risk it for the biscuit. I'm gonna throw the flame over here.
Flame on.
So it's gonna be one of these. It's a. Well, hold on now.
That was the wrong one.
Yeah. I can attack the flame, although doing so ends a spell. When you cast a spell or as an action on a later turn, you can hurl the flame at a creature within 30 feet of you. I get to make a ranged spell attack. Okay. Sorry, everyone. I should have read that earlier. Whatever. What are things? Ranged spell attack.
Throwing a fireball his way, not a actual fireball, but like a flame spell his way.
I'm throwing my produce flame at him, and it's going to end the spell.
Okay, so the light around you will dissipate.
Yeah.
Okay. You go ahead and get rid of this aura around you as the fiery ball that you've used as sort of like a light source coalesce in your hand into a sharper, more focused ball of flame, and you toss it at this floating, what looks like undead creature next to Thunder. What was the attack?
18 versus AC.
The spell, as the fire flings out from your clutches, smacks the creature. Roll for damage.
Level 5. Okay. Did that work? Okay, so it's a first 14. Wow.
The flame explodes as it hits this creature, and you watch Thunder and Emma as the flame begins to pull in, almost as though it's imploding. And it pulls inside of this floating creature.
Oh, fuck.
It breathes in a deep, ghostly breath, and deep within it, where your fire hit Emma, it glows a orangish red tint. It says, breathing out what you assume now is steam instead of a frosty mist.
I might have messed up.
Oh, shit.
I made a nature check instead of a religion check. Shit.
Well, I want to make a nature check.
Its gaze now, Emma, turns to you, and you notice in the distance, Bolt, Ironhide, and Ill, that the other one too looks towards Emma.
Uh-oh.
No.
18 nature.
With the 18 nature Emma, there is something about these undead that separates them from their normal kin. This one, despite being covered in these frosty pieces of ice that cover its body, you get the sense from your nature check that the way these things are looking at you and the way that their bodies are composed, that they have a hunger for body heat and flame. You get the sense that they cannot take damage from the flame and instead flourish from it, as their undead nature makes them always wish to have the warmth of their once living life.
Yes.
I am a hazard to everyone at this point in time. I'm sorry. I'm done. I'm done.
Say that you and me and Shinji are in very much danger right now.
Most of my ammunition is incendiary rounds.
Oh my.
We're fine.
Well, I just meant to say that we're all warm-blooded. We'll probably be the first ones to be sent for heat.
You said they're attracted to heat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cogman would be up after Emma. I don't know. Does anyone want to play him?
Yeah, I have a sheet open.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Cogman See, all right, let's see. I think he's gonna run down here 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I think he's gonna use his cane. And
this frost-covered skeleton looks somewhat similar to the others, but this one seems much more opaque and solid and is standing in the ground instead of floating like those two others.
That's fine, because it sounds like either way they're just as susceptible to getting stabbed with a cane. 24 to hit.
Totally hits.
That's gonna be 21 damage.
Holy
Cogman.
Shit. Cogman stabs this one in its coccyx, and bones and pieces of ice splay out as he stabs it.
Mediocre. I don't think I have anything else for him. He's done sneak attack. He only gets 1 attack a turn. Yeah, okay, I think he's done.
Doesn't he get like a second bonus disengage or something?
He does have cunning action.
You should disengage.
Well, if he fancy footwork. Oh, that creature can't make opportunity attacks. Oh, sick. Yoink.
It throws a frosted claw your way, but because of your abilities, Cogman, you're able to easily sort of like parry with your cane and shift out of the way.
Fancy footwork, it's called.
Nice. Ill.
Okay,
Luke
well,
2.
I still got the old executive, so that's something. I'm gonna come over here next to Bolt. Actually, I'm gonna stand slightly away from Bolt, just in case. And I'm gonna aim the executive because it's just regular old bludgeoning damage or piercing damage, and I'm gonna try to knock that thing away from Emma.
Sure.
Basically, my goal here is I'm knocking it diagonally.
Okay.
If it hits, that is. Let's see if it hits. Oh boy, does it. 26, 7 force damage, which isn't much, but point is it's pushed 5 feet away from me diagonally.
Nice. So you're trying to push it down here?
I guess it doesn't matter because it gets a turn after me, but an attempt was made.
You blow off one of its arms, and it looks pretty damaged between your and Cogman's attack on it.
This guy, is he the one that absorbed the fire?
Yes, it is.
I'm going to cast a spell at him. I'm going to psychically pick up one of the pieces of deadwood and throw it at him with catapult. Level 1.
Oh, nice.
He has to make a DC 15 dex save.
Okay. He makes a 14 and fails the save.
20 bludgeoning damage. Unfortunately, to both him and the wood. So that probably destroys that plank.
The wood fires off like a large mortar piece and splays open as it hits the body, ricocheting against this almost ghostly form of this undead creature in front of Thunder. That piece of wood is destroyed, but you notice that it breaks off several pieces of bone from the rib cage of this slightly incorporeal creature floating next to Thunder.
All right, that's all I got this turn.
All right. It is the Crino's turn next. Let's see here. It breathes in, looking around, seeing these things attacking you all, and goes. And let's see here. It's just gonna run through the snow along with the cart. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You watch as it picks up more and more speed as it tramples through the snow. Coming right up next to you, Ironhide, as it charges towards the undead next to you, lowering its head and attempting to gore the undead next to you with its sharp icicle-like horns.
This thing's getting a name.
Oh, I'm gonna find out its name. I'm gonna talk to it.
It smashes into it, dealing 15 points of... actually, let me see what type of damage that is. Yeah, 15 points of piercing damage. Hang on just a second. So that's that there. And it did a trampling charge towards it, so it needs to make a strength save.
Oh, it's just like me.
Which it does.
Champion.
Okay. It is nearly thrown off of its feet into the snow, but is able to hold on, kind of smacking against the enlarged Ironhide. But you do see large pieces of ice and hear the chipping of ice and bone next to you as the icicle-like horn is drilled into it from its charge, Ironhide. Next up are these guys themselves.
Sorry, Emma, I tried.
It's okay.
Let's see here. They, without making any sound, you just see a touch of frosty mist leaving their mouths. Actually, there would be none of that. They're undead. Thunder, you get a +1 to your whatever roll you'd like from Poochie Man. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay, let's see here. Just go one by one. The one next to you, Ironhide, is going to attempt to touch you for 17 versus AC.
That will hit.
Okay. As its finger touches you, you feel a pang of freezing cold run through you for 10 points of cold damage. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
These are never good.
Okay. I'm going to drop in the card.
Nice.
Advantage on the save, and then I'd like to recover 2d6 hit points.
Cool. Okay.
I'm gonna recover 4. And you said con save?
Yes, please.
Constitution save.
Oh.
19.
You quickly reel back from the icy touch and brush away what feels like a shard of ice that kind of pierced your skin from its touch and suffer no other ill effects. The one next to you, Emma, begins to slowly approach and reaches out a hand to touch you. For 10 versus AC.
Nope.
Good.
Get shit out of here.
The one in the distance, you hear the shifting and creaking of ice that flakes off of its longbow as it holds it up and fires off a shot at you, Il, in the center for 21 versus AC.
Sorry, what?
21 versus AC.
21's a pretty good hit.
A very cold,
Ow.
almost broken in half arrow catches into your shoulder for 7 points of piercing damage.
Ow. You're dead, pal.
Ironhide.
I mean, clearly you're dead, but yeah.
Yes, he is.
I'm so mad. And I instantly rage. My bonus. And then what's the rules on swapping melee weapons? I'm gonna assume I had. Do I have the great axe equipped because I was chopping the wood, or was I able to grab my weapon because we were alerted?
I will say because of Cassandra, it would give Bolt time to warn you so that you could quickly switch to your maul.
All right, I got the +1 maul on, and it's clobbering time.
Oh.
I don't like this one.
Oh.
Reckless attacks, please, for advantage.
Reckless indeed. Love it.
Maul +1, first swing.
Woo.
Oh, tasty.
That's gonna hit. Your muscles
Fish for
flex.
crits, bud.
Your veins bulge as you bring down the maul towards the thing's head.
So it's going to be 16, and then I get a 1d4 from the enlarge.
Holy shit.
Whew. So it's going to be 17
overall.
Bludgeoning.
Nice. Half of its skull, already covered and tainted in ice, cracks. Its jawbone just completely smashed from the impact of the maul. Its entire spine nearly cracks in half, and you almost just like stunt the thing, crashing its ribcage down into the waist bones. It nearly shudders back, falling over, but still stands.
Follow it up. Second attack.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, reckless.
Oh, reckless. Oh, good.
19 versus AC.
Hits.
That would be 17 bludgeoning.
What does it look like when you kill this thing again?
So, first attack was an overhead. The second one was an uppercut, and whatever rib cage it still had is just sailing off into orbit.
It just cracks through the ribs, and you just see the top half of it just tear free and thrown a couple yards back. The bottom half still standing for just a moment, and then toppling over into the snow. Anything else, Ironhide?
Gonna look over at my chilly buddy, give him a nod, and then going to try to. You said these things are floating.
It's not. It's still about. It's not like floating any meaningful distance off the ground, but you do see that their feet are not touching the ground. Their skeletal feet are just floating just a bit, an inch or two off of the snow surface of the ground.
All right. If I kind of want to block its progress being enlarged.
Sure.
If I move one over, or even two over, I guess right where I moved the first time, just like right there, kind of want to block it so it can't get near anybody, if that's possible. I don't know if it teleports or goes through me or whatever, but I want to at least try and impose myself.
Okay. You guys don't know if it has any of those abilities, but you feel like kind of propping yourself up in the way may gather its attention to kind of keep it locked on you. All right. Anything else, Ironhide?
Just big slugger swing pose, ready to hit this one.
All right. Bolt.
Oh boy. Bolt is going to spring into action. He's going to point over Ironhide's shoulder and said, "If that sumbitch moves, you kill it." Not necessarily him, but the next attack on this creature has advantage. I'm going to use my bard thing to do that, and then run this way and start just keep pointing and shouting directions at everybody. And then I say, and all these guys can fuck off, because I cast Bane on them. Specifically, this guy, and this guy have to make a DC 14 charisma save or be baned.
Top one is baned, and then no lie, I'll show this to the camera. The other two were natty 20s, so they save. But the top one next to Ironhide fails, taking your bane.
Yeah, so it has a D4. It minuses a D4 on the next attack roll or saving throw that it makes.
Okay.
And it's also got my my bardic target on it, where I'm helping whoever makes the next attack. They have advantage on it.
Oh, that's right. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
One specifically.
Say again?
The baned one specifically?
Yeah, is also got the other thing, yeah. And that is everything.
Okie dokie, let's see here. You have pinned your thing on it. We'll just throw I don't know what else. We'll throw this nasty looking sign on it. Sure. It's been baned and you put a mark on it. Alright. Thunder. Thunder. And a thunder.
I find it ironic that on a slow character, I just roll low anyways now. I'm gonna take, over my shoulder holler to Cogman, protect Emma, and I'm just gonna steer this one down and take 2 big old punches right into it with my Thunder Fist.
Mm-hmm, okay.
I'm gonna use my +1 because it's the evening is late on this first attack.
Oh, good idea.
Good thing I did. 14 hit.
A 14 hits this thing.
Oh. That's fantastic. That's 5 thunder damage, and it has disadvantage on attacks on anything else other than me.
Nice. You kind of hit it hard in the chest so as to pull its attention your way so that it doesn't try to attack anyone else.
Second attack.
Mm-hmm.
17.
17 hits.
That's 7 thunder damage.
Another impactful pock into it as the thunder throws out from your fist, smashing into it and throwing up some snow behind it.
That's it.
All right. We roll back up to the top. These things turn. The one that is baned is going to go. I think it has to make a 1d4 roll to whatever attack bolt.
Yeah. So it minuses -2 from any attack roll it makes.
Okay.
Or from the first one if it has multiple.
Gotcha. Let me see here. Okay. It raises a finger to try and touch you, Ironhide.
Don't touch it.
That's gonna miss. You can hear a soft and you watch as it begins to head towards you and moves through your body.
Oh God!
It's gonna move through your body.
Nope.
You still get an opportunity attack if it moves, and you have advantage.
It does move out of your range, so it's about right here if you want to make a swing at it. Ironhide, you feel the chill as it moves through you, moving out behind you.
I was blocking you. I'm offended.
Oh, fish that crit.
Oh, so close.
27 versus AC.
Oh, nice. Totally hits.
Do I get my rage bonus on an opportunity?
Yeah. You're
Do I get the 1d4 from?
Yep. Yeah, you're still large.
Get everything.
17 bludgeoning.
Nice.
Oh.
Smashes into it.
In there? Should be 8. It's 19 rather.
I added on to the 14.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I gotta figure out how to roll that into the macro.
I don't think there is a way, unfortunately, from Roll20 at least.
You crack into its back and it nearly topples over but continues to float on, although you were able to smash into it handily as you turn around and swing your maul that way. It seems to be headed towards Emma and Cogman's direction. This other one turns to you, Thunder, and reaches out a hand to touch you. And man, wow, shitty rolls, it fails. It begins to push past you, allowing you an attack of opportunity if you'd like.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit.
See you, Space Cowboy.
See those payments. Oh, you already have a good boy card. But that does big damage.
Mundo.
12. Ooh.
And a ghetto crit. Let's go.
14 total.
Nice.
Thunder damage.
You crack into it handily with a shifting and shivering of thunderous damage from a fist into its back. Pieces of ice fleck off of it into the snow below. It seems a bit crippled but continues to float towards Cogman and Emma. Let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. It's going to stop right there so it doesn't take another attack of opportunity right next to you, Emma.
Okay. We must protect the child.
Emma, speaking of, you're up.
Ow! I turn into a dire wolf.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Shit.
So that's my action.
It's a large creature.
It is a large beast.
We'll put your token down there and replace it with this one. I'll give you control over it.
That was a good call.
And since that was my action, I think that's all I can do. It doesn't really have a bonus action.
Your body shifts and contorts, fur growing all over you. You shift and change, feeling sharp canines begin to grow. Your eyes perceiving the world a bit sharper now as you turn into a wolf-like form of the dire wolf.
She's a bright red wolf, obviously.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
And I'm done.
Maybe it's because I had a shape-shifting druid, but that's not a bonus action to shapeshift?
It says as an action for Wildfire, it says it's an action.
I was going to say, mine was definitely tried to do that, so I can see how it'd be quicker.
Yes.
Okay. Trying to run?
Oh, yeah, no. I'm not trying to run.
Oh, okay.
I would take 2 opportunity attacks.
Yeah, you would.
Get a turn.
No, I'm done.
Okay. You are a strong dire wolf now, at the very least. Cogman, you're up. These things surrounding Emma are surrounding her and look a little chilling, pun intended. However, they are pretty badly damaged.
The things these fleshbags can do will never cease to amaze me. He's going to use fainting attack, and that's going to give him advantage on the one that's standing next to him.
Nice.
And you get sneak attack damage on that.
Oh, yeah, he would anyway, because Emma's there. But yes, it's mostly just to make sure he hits and get the extra damage in there. Yeah. And, well, I mean, I'm guessing 25 is definitely going to hit.
Absolutely.
That ain't a lot of damage, but he does get extra damage from the fainting attack, which is Luke rolls, ladies and gentlemen. Luke rolls.
That feel.
It's going to be the old 13, lucky 13 damage.
Nice. Coming from the sword cane?
From the sword cane, yes.
Is that just like a standard sword cane? Is it +1 or +2?
It is the one that's enchanted and has the gem slot in it.
Oh, excellent. What was the overall damage? I'm sorry.
His fainting attack, he can do it as a bonus action. It's his fighter, the part of him that's a fighter.
Okay. And what was the overall damage for it?
13.
13? What's it look like when you take this one out?
Oh, good enough. Cogman slips a little bit, but like on the ice, but like just by happenstance happens to slice through the thing's spine with his cane, and then tries to pass it off like he meant to do that.
It breathes out, and you see the ice melt around it, and its form become incorporeal as it dissipates.
He actually, now that happened, does this one still have its eyes on the doggo?
This one does seem to be moving down your way, yes.
Cogman is going to move to intercept.
Okay.
And that's it for him.
All right, very good.
Just as a point of order, he's only got the Bane on him now.
Fair enough.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's just put the old Bane on there. All right. Ill.
Well, same story as last time.
I'm gonna blast this one with the executive. Man, these executive rolls though. hot and spicy. 26 to hit for 11 force damage. He's pushed 5 feet away, but it doesn't matter because he gets a turn before anybody else does.
It is pushed 5 feet away, but both you and Emma as the direwolf look, and it's not its body that is pushed that way, but its head as it is lopped right off of its neck.
Yeah. He was very happy about that. And he's going to fade back from this ghost thing, and he's going to catapult. Since this thing is baned,
there's like some rocks around here around the fire pit.
Yeah, I was about to say he's going to catapult a rock from the fire pit at level 2 towards him.
Nice.
Is that a save?
It is a save, yes.
Wait.
Yes, for the bane.
Woo!
Oh, that's tasty. And here comes the roll, if I can find it. Catapult.
So it has -4 on its save.
Oh boy. It's not a natty 1, but with all the marks down, it's pretty damn close. These rolls tonight for me are in your guys' favor.
I conk him upside his head for 21 bludgeoning damage from the rock.
Holy shit.
That was a level 2 spell, though. And I don't get many of them. I don't get many spells at all.
That's some strong-ass damage.
I'm a cantrip boy.
It nearly catches the cart behind it as it just shoots through, breaking various bony ribs, and ice flecks off behind it as your rock shoots out and kind of bounces across the snow behind it some yards.
And I will finish my turn by moving 20, 25, and 30, and I'm done.
All right. The old cryo is going to turn this away.
This guy's a champion.
Oh, God.
Let me see here real quick.
It's going to trample me.
What?
He's my friend.
It looks over at Bolt with hungry eyes. No, it doesn't. It doesn't do that.
Voltage range.
It's gonna do one of these right here, and it's gonna do it just low enough. It's gonna move one forward here. Hang on just a second. It's gonna step up here. Actually, it's got enough movement to where it's gonna swing around because it's purposely trying not to get any of you guys. It lowers its head and just mouths a mouthful of snow and rears up, and its cheeks puff up, and it shoots out of its mouth a number of shards of sharp ice that fleck out in a cone ahead of it. Thing in front of you, the undead, needs to make a save. It fails.
It has a -2 to that save.
Oh yeah, it super fails then. And let's see here. It takes... Actually, hang on, let me see. This may be... Okay, hang on just a second. That's another fail, wow. The flecks of ice shoot through the floating undead next to it, as if they do not do any damage. However, there is a sense from the shifting of this thing's body as it is almost caught off guard and surprised, and some other inflections in its movement as this spray of ice towards it. It is done. Now it is the last boy up here. We'll finish out combat, so now we're going over a little bit, but there's not too much left. This one is going to move up 5, 10, 15, 20, and stop right there. It is going to look around and fire a shot out at the at Bolt.
Hey, fuck you.
14 versus AC.
Hey, I don't actually know. Hold on. Ties, god dang it.
A frosty arrow catches into your side, Bolt, for 8 points of piercing damage. Ironhide, you're up.
So mad. I like my little buddy though. He's good. Any terrain problems with these rocks?
No. There's snow in this area, but it's not thick enough to impede your movement.
And it's 35. And queuing up some reckless attacks on this bag of bones. First attack.
Wow. There you go.
21 versus AC.
Hits.
That's all. Bring him. An enlarged hit even.
Yep, so it's 17 bludgeoning. And then it's got to make a strength save. Because I get head first charge from moving 20 feet towards it and then hitting it with a melee attack.
Nice.
Nice.
What's the overall DC for that?
8 plus strength mod plus proficiency, which for some reason did not calculate in there.
Yeah, I didn't see it there.
15 strength.
Oh, it fails. This is a icy skelly boy.
So it takes 7 bludgeoning damage and is knocked prone.
It is thrown off of his feet onto the snow below it.
And now the carnival mallet whack straight down for attack number 2.
Right in my sights, little buddy.
$25 versus AC.
Hits.
17 bludgeoning damage.
What's it look like when you take this one out?
Literally is ground to dust. It's like craters through the snow about 2-3 feet.
There's just the maul's brought down by your oversized arms, and you just don't even see where exactly it connected. The just snow shoots up, and you just see pieces of bone and ice fly all around. Anything else, Ironhide?
Use the last bit of my movement and point home run bat style at this one.
All right, Bolt. With that, you're up.
I also point home run bat style at it and say, I don't have a thing. I just shoot it.
Okay.
Oh, 13 to hit.
Something quippy. Go. Actually, let me double check. Hang on. What was the total? I'm sorry. 13 hits.
Just hits.
Well, this is why I was disappointed. So it does 11 piercing damage altogether.
This comes from Cassandra?
Yeah, so I have sneak attack damage because I've got Rogue next to him, and so yeah, it totals up to 11 points with a sneak attack.
To look like when you down this incorporeal undead skeleton creature.
Like he's screaming at Cogman, and then just like the arrow appears, and he just tumbles over.
Its form dissipates. The undead in the area, roused from your activity here, seem to have been taken care of.
Oh, well. We're not welcome here. Let's chop down these trees and get the fuck out of here.
They did not like what we did. Let's continue doing what we were doing.
That would if we're getting off this fucking ice ball.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Come on, Ironhide. Let's do this before more of them show up.
It made me so mad. Smashed him.
Take out that anger on this here tree.
Ironhide, you and Ill head up to a tree, you returning to the one that you're at previously, and you guys begin driving your great axes into the wood around you, chopping furiously. You already had about 5 or so from that stack nearby. After about 10 or so minutes, you have another stack of 10, and you're just clearing up the last bit, chopping and beating into this tree that is very, very hardy. It kind of lends some credence to now, as you guys realize its necrotic nature, as the wood here is just so tough and a dark black oak as you chop into it, flecking off some timber that you can carry and throw into a bag. Emma, you're staying as the dire wolf?
Yeah, I'm gonna sniff around the camp. I'm gonna sniff around the area for things.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, perception check as a wolf? Let's see. Okay. Passive perception. Oh, here we go. Perception. There we go. That is an 8.
Do they get advantage?
I think they
rolling and stuff, right?
Yeah, I think you have keen senses, so roll with advantage since you're a dire wolf.
3. GM's rolled for some reason.
Yeah, I see that. Hey, maybe you wanted to keep it a private roll for me. I appreciate that.
18.
You sniff around as your dire wolf, Emma. As you sniff, you smell that. I don't know how you'd state it. The smell of bone.
The smell of death.
The smell of death in the air. It's faint coming from this area, as you can clearly see some of the re-dead bodies of the undead that you guys just took out are nearby. But something picks up in your senses as you lift your snout up in the air and sniff around, trying to catch the trail a little more. There's still the smell of bone and death and maybe something else in the air. And as you peer through the trees, hearing the hard chop behind you as your teammates get to work trying to finish the last bits of lumber to gather, with only a few minutes remaining before you're done, in the distance, between the trees, with your keen senses in the darkness, you see a soft blue light that seems to slowly be shifting your way.
Fuck.
And that's where we'll end this session.
Fuck. He'll just starts chopping as fast.
Yeah, I think we'll be okay. I may be an old country lawyer, but hear me out. They said don't go into the light. Didn't say that the light couldn't go into us.
What?
Did you guys have fun?
Yeah.
So much fun.
It's good.
I like the Krynos. Those are amazing.
My favorite thing.
Fucking champion. His name's Romper Stomper, by the way. He's our champion.
These every single one of these creatures from this encounter, including Kryno, are from Toma Beast 2.
Mm-hmm. I want that one of those bats too. Those are pretty cool. Little ice bats.
Yeah, little what's the ice bat from Zelda? Is there one? Keys. Yeah, that's right. Little ice keys.
Oh. That's my last name. Voltro Keys.
Hey, what?
Every turn I see Bolt doing the Han Solo. Just shrug.
Thank you, everybody who joined us in the chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Anna, for stopping by and giving the party so many treats. I always appreciate that. That comes in handy for a lot of them. They were throwing out some inspiration cards left and right. That was really cool. Thank you, Poochie Man, also for the gifts. I appreciate you stopping by and watching, as well as anybody who was lurking. That's always cool, too, just to hang out and check out the stream. I really appreciate it. If you missed any of this and want to catch up on more, we have the VODs here on Twitch, or you can check up on the latest episodes over on YouTube, and that's GAWD _mode, and that's all the social handles. That's Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Check those all out. Twitter, I do updates usually on when I go live, as well as giveaways sometimes, usually at the end of the month, so keep an eye out on that and follow that if you'd like to. As you guys are watching, even if you're lurking, like I said at the beginning of the stream, you're building up Twitch channel points, which you got firsthand knowledge of people using those points to give both me and the players some cool stuff to use, which is really nice. So I appreciate that again. And you guys should check out the points, especially if you're lurking. You don't even have to chat. You can still just buy the party stuff if you want to interact. We've had clutch moments before from even just like a +1 roll and stuff like that that's come in use. So give that a look. If you follow, you get an immediate bonus of points, and if you sub, that money goes all back into the stream, as well as you get a multiplier to the points you earn. So lots of cool stuff there. Check it out. If you want to learn more about the stream, just take a look below here on the Twitch page in the About section, and you can see my schedule. I actually stream a lot outside of doing the Friday night stuff. I do a lot of RPGs as well as some other new stuff on the way, so check that out. In the meantime, we're going to head out. We'll be back here next week, same time, same place, along with Kevin taking over for Cogman. And you guys will have to fill in on some interesting things that you learned in Chilimir over this last session, so that he can see what mysteries and things lie ahead. Lots of different things in this town. Lots of things for you guys to explore. The last arc was pretty linear in nature, so I wanted this one to have some interesting nuggets for you guys to kind of latch on to, see what you head into. I kind of leaving it open-ended to see where you guys go. It's been interesting already, so I'm excited to see where things go. Catch us next week, same time, same place, Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time or 6 p.m. Pacific, wherever you're located. Come hang out and chat. Get caught up on YouTube or on Twitch here with the previous episodes, and then come hang out with us. We're heading out for the night. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.